We're starting off high.
We can get a two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
No, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
trust human to raise back wolves.
Before I would trust a pack of humans to raise wolves.
Right. I hear you. We are at restarting the show because some dumbass forgot to hit unmute. So, what up, fools?
Do fools agree? Yeah, we're on the same page.
Welcome back to episode 28 of Do Fools Agree. I'm your host, Michael Reggie, as always, here with my man, Clifford Jordan Jennings. So, see what happened was, we've done this a couple of times, and you'd think I'd figure it out, and sometimes I still miss it. So, there's an extra button now because Cliff makes me, or doesn't like us talking over the end credits because he feels like I'm setting him up and trapping him. And so sometimes I forget to click it back.
And we lost gold. So let's go.
So we lost it. So we gonna do introductions one more time. And first, introducing my cousin Samantha, joining us via Zoom. She's below me on the live stream. In terms of just positioning on the camera, everybody. But with all that, Samantha's here to talk to us a little bit about just educating the fools on some LGBTQ plus whatever all the alphabets are, to just help us understand things a little bit better. And I think she is coming to us after, I think it was a couple of weeks ago where Samantha joined the show, or she was listening to the show, and she just heard something that sounded off, and she said, well, just so you guys are aware, it's actually this. And, she's like, if you want, I can come by and I could talk to you and Cliff and kind of give you a little bit of an education there. And I said, well, if you're going to do that, let's do it on the show. So educate the masses and the asses. I got the same joke back in. So Samantha will help us out here just in a couple minutes. Cliff, if you want to reintroduce Jake after I fucked all that up.
And once the fuck again, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Jake from State Farm, right?
A good friend of mine. Co-worker.
Yes, sir.
Job shall remain nameless.
The job is State Farm.
The job. And this is Jake from that bitch.
She sounds hideous. Well, she's a dude. And that is my staple.
Listen,
It'll be my staple. I should have like the Superman side of the State Farm.
I don't know how the fuck you do it, sir. I don't know how you do it.
It's just me, man.
Listen,
well,
welcome.
Be original.
Welcome to the show. Are we good now?
So we fucked all that up, but we back.
Are we recording?
We are recording. Everything's good.
Sounds fake,
bro. Yeah.
Okay, now that we're past the intros.
What do you got? Any inadvertent thoughts to get us going here, Cliff, before we jump into our first
I
topic?
do have an inadvertent thought.
What's that?
So I don't know if I'm gonna since we got a lot of Star Wars fans in the building, I'm going to give you the moral of the story before I give the story.
Okay.
Right? Okay, because we're doing how did prequels? Is that what they're known for?
Yes, sir.
Right.
I mean, they're known for the middle trilogy, the original,
Or
trilogy,
I feel
or
like
the OG trilogy.
I could give you the Nas reference in the story in Rewind, but I didn't know.
Isn't that the Tarantino?
I figured we could
start with the end. And
listen, we can go Tarantino too.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, the moral of the story was how your misconceptions about something can lead you to miss out on something that's so fitting for you.
The
you
whole
know
picture.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And it came from a
Did you
TV
finally watch Hamilton? Is that the story?
No. But I did. Because I said I would, and I'm a man of my word.
Right.
I went and listened to the songs. Don't like them.
Okay.
I don't like them. I'm not saying that they weren't done well.
It's not your thing.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Look, Cliff. I can't do so. I may be the gayest person you know.
I don't need.
Maybe, but I don't like Rent. I can't stand it.
I love
know
rent.
I know what it is.
Now that I'm
but I
older,
don't-
I'm like, pay your fucking rent. Yeah. And now I'm just like,
Figure this shit out,
do
you're
a
grown.
hobby and then
Right.
get a job.
Right, like
the
aren't
rest of
all
us,
y'all
pay your
talented?
fucking rent.
Well,
Fucking
not
pick a
special.
corner.
It wasn't even that.
Put out a guitar box. I've seen it in so many movies. August Rush was young as fuck. You hear what I'm saying? God damn. He was making bread as an orphan. Pay your fucking rent. Listen, I don't know. But
Right.
if that was the plot, it'd be over real quick with me.
Well,
The fuck? Does your school have dorm rooms? Because you're evicted, bitches.
I get a boarding school.
I don't care what you are.
Oh man.
Well, and the whole argument behind that was I'm a Disney fan.
Ain't no shame of it.
I'm a Disney. I gotta watch my branding because I don't I'm gonna help out the producer over here. No, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, and I will be probably till the day I die. I have a Peter Mayhew autograph.
That's awesome.
He played Chewbacca.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to meet him in
I was
person.
about to
Yes,
ask.
sir. Oh, I can do the noise.
Oh, let's
Are
hear
you
it.
ready?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. I'm sold.
Was it good, Mike?
We got new impressions to go. So I'm good.
I don't know if it was good or not.
It was. That was pretty solid.
Yeah. But
I
get it.
What
So
was
did you
that?
finish your inadvertent thought?
No,
I don't
what was
think
I
you
saying?
did.
No, I interrupted.
I don't
him.
know. You said we were Tarantino in it, and then Samantha asked you if it
Oh,
was
okay. So
Hamilton.
yeah, the moral of the story was that you can miss out on shit because you have a preconceived notion about something. And I know, I guess it kind of goes with don't judge a book by its cover too, right? Because, and it came from a show. Of course, we're on quarantine. There's not much else to do, so I'm watching shows and going back through old fights on YouTube. But I came across the show Kingdom.
I haven't seen it.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't
So,
seen it yet.
okay, so please forgive me because it's gonna sound harsh what I'm saying,
Do it.
but it's the movie about the MMA fighters, and it's got the Jonas brother in it, and he's gay. He's a gay MMA fighter.
Okay. I don't know that I've ever heard of it.
Controversy to get go.
That right,
Okay,
exactly. It's
I'm gonna
interesting.
say it.
No, it's
I'll
definitely
say it out
interesting. So listen.
I'm not
So
ashamed.
listen. So my first thought, I didn't know it had anything to do with that. I just saw.
MMA.
I didn't even see MMA. I saw previews of the show, and it was them doing like gangster shit. You know what I mean? Like fighting in the streets, roughing people up, and all that.
Right.
So my
Circulars.
idea was this is just about, I'm sorry, trashy white people being, like.
Being trashy white people.
Don't be sorry for that. Please.
But I mean,
not on my account.
But you know what I mean? Like, that was my thought about it, and that was complete. And I'm only saying this because I'm trying to acknowledge how completely wrong I was about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it.
So I watched the show, and it is my version of what my brother was trying to say about Baki.
Okay.
The dad was the fighter, the famous fighter, ran a gym, trained his kids. One kid was a fuck up. The other kid did great, but turns out he was gay, hiding who he really was, type shit. Not saying that, it applies, but it was just what they went through resonated with me. Like, okay, I see, you know what I mean? Coming from where I came from, that makes sense. And it wasn't so much that they didn't do anything so much illegal as they got pulled into a situation, which also I can relate to. You know what I mean? So it was almost like, damn, you had your own prejudices about this show. In reality, it was closest to you than anything else you've been watching. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where we are as a country right now. We have preconceived notions about certain things, and it's causing us to miss out on things that could really be entertaining or interesting or even beneficial.
Or even resonate.
In our lives.
Just because you don't necessarily agree with somebody doesn't mean the story of how they came to that conclusion wouldn't resonate.
And it's not even saying that I would disagree with them. It's just what I had ingrained in my mind from what I saw on the previews. Listen, i.e. the news.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, it's the headlines.
People get ingrained in their mind from the previews, and they don't ever watch the show. And it's like, if I just
clickbait title.
Watch the show, this makes sense to me.
Can I ask you something, Cliff?
Of course you can.
So I'll confess to say that unless the link on Facebook coincides with how I'm feeling about the climate of the world right now, I will either click on that link because it's from, a reputable news source, or I'll just read the title
and Just
But
keep
I
moving.
think
Right.
I think the most important part to that aspect would be if I didn't feel the same way, even if it is fake news, I wouldn't have as many people that like it and find it
Right.
interesting. I think that goes.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I'm following now.
Sadly, it goes the same for the other side of the spectrum.
Okay, so here's my thing, and I was waiting for your question. I thought you said you had a question for me.
I mean, I will. There's plenty of time. There's, sir.
Well,
there's
see, here's my
plenty-
thing. Here's my thing about. Wait a minute, it's floating away from me.
Don't let it float. Catch that.
Damn it, Carl.
Am I Carl?
Come on,
Is
Carl.
that my new name?
No, wasn't that the volleyball in Castaway?
Wilson.
Wilson.
Carl.
Sir.
It was Wilson
Tom
because it was
Hanks.
a Wilson branded volleyball.
And as soon as he said Wilson, it snapped. The athlete in me said that. Duh. Fuck it. What? I don't even remember what the fuck you said.
So I will jump in with an inadvertent. It's not even an inadvertent thought. It is a kudos to you for telling me I should watch All American. Wifey and I started it on Monday.
I
Spencer
said
James. Spencer James
it's
is
kind
my
of like
man.
it's kind of like the black
version of Friday Night Lights.
Exactly.
And I like this one a lot more. Although I have the same problem with it that I had with Friday Night Lights.
It's
There's not enough football.
Because they're trying to capture the women too, so
Yeah.
it's like we can watch it as a family, so it has
Right.
to be all soap opera.
Which honestly is probably why my wife is into it and cool
exactly.
with us watching.
Listen, and that's the same way with this show. I'm talking about The Kingdom.
Yeah.
Like, it's very soap
heard it.
opera. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I
Like
hear
there
you.
is fighting in it, but for the most part, it's like, well, so and so sleeping with so and so's girl, and the
Right,
best
right.
fighter came to the fight drunk and off of cocaine, but he still won. So,
Right.
is he gonna be all right for the next fight? Well, he's, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
like, well. So I get it. You want to be able to capture a broad.
Yeah. It's casting a wide net for the masses.
Right. And I get that.
And that's a network television show, so it has to. It's
Right.
not like Netflix where you can have a little bit more
But
of
you
a
know
niche
what?
audience.
And I would like to hear from Sam because I see you here and I
Yeah,
see
you
you taking
see my
it all
face
in,
every
right? Right. And I see that we haven't hit on anything interesting to you. But at the same time, what I will say is before we get there is I feel like we're at a point where it's almost wrong to focus on singularity. You know what I mean? If we make something only, and I don't even mean culturally, I mean only for these specific group of people, then somebody's gonna raise their hand and say we feel left out. You know what I mean?
See, but that was. So I hear what you're saying, and you'll probably accuse me of going to MSNBC here. But what I will say is that was honestly the promise of the internet from the jump. It's called the long tail, meaning
that?
you should be able to find content and
For
niche
you,
materials
right.
as deep and as specific as you want.
Right.
And that was the economic theory behind the long tail, is that it should be able to elevate those niche communities.
Right.
And that's part of the problem sometimes is when you start talking about racism and, hate groups and those kind of things, that's part.
Grab, so it's the safer bet is to include all as opposed to focus on
Right. Well,
this
and
specific-
that's why you've seen like major franchises like the MCU or Star Wars become so much more diverse in the 20th century. And not saying that they're where
No,
they
I
need
like
to
that.
be.
I feel like I like
But
that.
all of that is because they think that means more money in the long run.
But
Well,
we're also talking about superhero shit too, so,
So-
it's still a specific group of people.
It
as
is, but
well.
you have to admit there's significant mainstream appeal with the Marvel movies.
Well, of course
They're,
there is.
they're multi-billion-dollar movies.
Right.
The other aspect to it is, if you look at the rights that Disney had to pay for to be able to make Star Wars, I think they paid like
It was $4
some
billion.
$3 billion.
Are
Yeah.
you fucking serious?
No,
Well,
completely
they paid
not
$4 billion for it, and each movie has made more than $1 billion,
of
and that's
course.
not including the
merchandise
Now,
and
wait,
the
who
Lego
did they
sets
pay the
and
$4 billion to? Not
George
like
George
Lucas.
Lucas.
That's what I was about to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, the creator and the mastermind of Star Wars, for sure. So
That motherfucker isn't on Mars right now. We should rob him. We should rob him.
The
And
problem
I
is-
say that honestly. We should
The
rob
problem
him.
is they gave him $4 billion and he gave away like $3 billion.
Yeah,
Okay, well, no, I retract my previous statement.
I mean, don't retract it too hard. He has
Don't
plenty of
retract
money.
it.
No. Well, I understand what you're saying, but
He doesn't have Bezos.
didn't
right
I said it a while ago. I said
Yeah,
I
never
feel
mind.
like if you're a billionaire in this country,
Right.
you should start campaigning like the
course.
president to tell us why
we shouldn't fuck you
take
up.
it from you. Like,
No,
what have you
and-
done for us lately? And if you're giving away money,
Right.
like he said,
Right.
that's the perfect reason why you as a billionaire should keep your
Right.
money.
Well,
So I agree with that.
do
Even
you-
though, like you said, he probably has a lot more than what he gave and got a lot back on taxes. But still, I'm okay with that. Anybody else, I feel like rob them right now.
Right.
What are they doing while people are starving? Rob them.
So the best argument that I would have on that, sir.
Against robbing them?
Yes, sir. Against
Okay.
robbing. Yes, sir. Against robbing.
I got a little internet business too.
I do.
Robbing
I do.
motherfuckers.
No, I mean, so it's not,
www.hitalick.com.net.
it's the new Uber. Hop in.
I mean, that's the theory. Did anybody watch season 3 of Westworld? That was the
don't
whole
watch
thing.
Westworld. I don't.
I've never
I've heard a
seen
lot
Westworld.
I've heard a lot of things about that, and I've never seen it. Is it good like that?
I mean,
I've
but
heard a lot of people say
I
something.
feel
about it.
like you.
Don't lose your.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if you would like it or not.
Oh.
It gets a little heady.
Okay.
It's a little heady.
Okay. Well, Hetty, like what? Like
It does a lot of like the kind of time jump manipulation stuff
Okay.
in the first 2 seasons, in the first season
Okay.
especially.
Okay, I see.
But it does it again in the second season. The third season's a little more straightforward, but it's a lot more kind of traditional sci-fi.
Okay, so no, I probably wouldn't like. I'm not a really big sci-fi guy.
Yeah.
It depends. I'm not a Trekkie fan. I will never be a Trekkie fan.
See, I thought we were gonna be friends.
Well, the only argument I'll come back
Mike's
with.
by. Mike's
Hey.
by with this. With
Hey,
this Sam,
with
Mike's
this
by
sci-fi.
with the space world.
Bye with the sci-fi.
It's with the Star
Bye.
Wars and the Star Trek.
That's a
I
bumper
like that.
sticker
You gotta
for
token
sure.
that.
Somebody make that.
You're by with your sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
Right. Sci-fi.
Or
That's why
Bi-Fi?
Listen, we-
Bi-Fi?
Yes. sir.
Sci-fi sounds like Wi-Fi that only
Yes,
bisexual.
that's what I was thinking.
It's like I'm here for, so that's fine.
Shark Tank.
Goodness gracious.
So
Oh,
to get
shit.
back on the $3 or $4 billion that was
We need
spent.
shirts.
Yes, sir. The whole concept, I think, and Cliff, you were on this topic earlier, as far as, in Star Wars, there's this whole good side to be this
Yeah.
awful man, and then at the end, he finally comes to his senses and says, "Hey, I was wrong.
Right.
I apologize," and he.
Are you just like praying that Jeff Bezos has a redemption arc, or
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yes.
Spoiler alert, he doesn't.
Well, I mean,
He doesn't.
in so many different cultures, though, there is no good or evil. We're
Right,
both.
Right. There's a
In
medium.
in the Indian culture, it's the wolf. The wolves that battle, the good and evil wolf. In Asian culture, it's the yin and the yang.
Right.
You have to have both in order to have an even balance, and that's what I feel like free will is when you speak of religion. It's your balance.
Your ability
choose
to
which
choose.
side you
Right.
want to lean towards.
Yeah.
And it's
I mean,
all
there's
up to-
definitely it's definitely like good and bad, and you have to. It's really important to like imagine people complexly, and like realize that a really good person can do shitty things, and
Right.
a really shitty person can do
Right.
good things.
right.
And at least for me, because I am very much a, like eat the rich person. That's like one of the things. I'm sure that someday I will have a shirt that says it. To me, there is like definitely a level where like Jeff Bezos might be good to his partners or his family or his friends who also help him be rich.
Except
But he,
we
you
know
know,
he's not.
made
'cause he
billions
got
and billions of dollars during the
divorced.
shutdown and paying his workers absolutely like
Right.
hardly any wages to do incredibly difficult
Listen.
work. A ton of Amazon employees are like on food stamps, and he has more money than any human could ever do anything with, and he's doing nothing of value with it.
I get it.
So like, there's a level where I'm like, yeah, I try to imagine people complexly, but you're a villain. Like,
That's
you
where-
are a Superman villain. If
That's
this
where the
becomes-
campaign comes in.
Lex
Right.
Luthor.
That's where the
Yeah,
campaign
you would be Lex
comes in.
Luthor, 100%.
Agreed.
That's
Him
where
and
the
Elon
campaign
Musk
comes.
are
You know what?
supervillains.
The only bad thing about that, let me not even speak that. I won't even speak that.
I think
All
the,
I'll say is the only bad thing about what I said about campaigning to see if you should keep it is that would birth a whole lot of Fidel Castro situations. Because if I'm going to be a supervillain and I'm not going to give it, I'm
Right.
going to develop an army. Yeah, I'll pay y'all
I
this
mean,
much.
that's why we
I'll
just
pay my
need
Amazon
socialism.
workers this much, but I'll pay my army $100,000 a year to...
of course they will.
Listen, I don't give a fuck about your isms or... let's be
I'm
one
not actually
ism.
pro real socialism. I'm a democratic socialist, which is basically capitalist, but with like a social safety net. So say there's a pandemic, you don't have to worry about
Maybe
losing your
motherfuckers
job
should
and
get
losing
some
your
money
health
and have
care
some
and shit like
healthcare.
that. You can like actually be taken care of and not worry about starving to death because your boss fired you because the business is going under because of a pandemic.
No, I
Right.
get it. No, I get it. You know, but I feel like that was what beyond socialism, that was what democracy could have edited in a correct way. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
You had the opportunity to change something that looked of this
Pretty.
way, right? Not even pretty, ugly, and dress it up to where people still have the opportunity to vote for these things, but we do have a safety net if we fall back instead of just for small.
I think part of the issue is that we vote people and emotions rather than vote issues.
That's why I hate.
That's yeah.
If we're
Well, we
being
don't have a true democracy, which is
Right.
the problem. Like,
Agreed.
my one vote doesn't count.
right.
Like, I'm
No,
not
you're
voting
right.
for things really.
Right.
And, like, that is
And
a
if-
huge issue.
And if we're being 100% honest, and I don't mean it in this specific conversation because I'm definitely enjoying where we're at right now.
Right.
But if I'm being 100% honest, that's why I hate talking politics.
Yeah.
Because it's like just talking to blind people because it's not working on either side.
No, I'm
it's
with
not
you.
even
And
that.
why are we still rooting for losing teams? And if both our sides are losing,
Right.
then who's winning?
Right.
Well,
Those
yeah,
are the
I
people
mean,
we need
the
to
fact that
figure
I'm
out.
probably going to vote for Joe Biden is, like, the most
Heartbreaking.
Listen,
upsetting
you
thing
know
that has
how I
happened
feel.
to me in a
You know
while.
how I feel about it, and
Right.
I'm almost feeling like, damn, like...
I mean, because I want there to be a third-party option that I can feel confident voting for,
But
that doesn't exist. And
here's-
I would vote for a turkey sandwich before I vote for Donald Trump. So-
I would definitely vote
Agreed.
for a chimpanzee before I voted for either one.
Exactly.
And I don't care if you took the plastic off the button. I'm still voting for the chimpanzee and hoping he doesn't stomp around
I don't
on
even
that
care.
desk.
I
don't
mean,
even care.
he would be less dangerous,
Right.
a chimpanzee. Like,
because he
absolutely.
doesn't know how to do Twitter.
Right.
He would by accident do better.
Right.
I honestly, fools
I really
agree.
truly
Say-
believe.
Right, all the
Like,
Agree.
100%.
Everybody cheers to that
Listen.
with our water.
No, I mean there's a great quote.
Yeah, I have
in-
my water bottle.
I'm not mad
Same.
at it.
I think it's the third book in the Dune series around Children of Dune, and it basically says that every government known to man always evolves to the point
Right.
where the ruling class
not even
becomes
the
powerful in terms of
It's not even
the
government.
government will always eventually default to defending the oligarchy
It's
and
not
the
even
ruling
government.
class.
It's kings. It's queens. It's
Okay.
Right.
it's anything of power. If you give anything too much power,
Yep.
then they start getting hungry for more.
Right.
I have
Anything.
a really awesome fact
What you got?
to throw
I'm
out.
ready.
So, from the climate of the conversation, I can already tell that most of us, okay, we're on the same page. Get the orangutan out.
You have-
Honestly,
Vote.
the one black dude here is probably the most conservative out of all
No,
of us.
that's okay. He's allowed to be. I still care about him. He's a good
That's
guy.
my guy.
He's a good guy.
That's my
Yeah,
guy.
care.
I don't expect everyone to be as left as me because I am
I'm there.
very left,
I
and
wanna
I
be there.
understand
I just
that
feel
is
like-
not
I'm
where
there.
the rest of the world lives.
And I wouldn't even say because even when you say shit like that, it gives me a cringe when you say like he's what. But it's the truth though.
I don't.
And it's because it's not that I'm conservative, it's that I'm right down the middle.
I hear you.
It's that I don't trust
That's a
you
fair point.
or I don't trust you.
Right.
So I'm going to keep my guns in case you get out of line.
I hear you.
And I'm going to rock with your choice to marry your own sex because I feel like you should have it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be the guy that's like, no, in case y'all flip out and want to go to war, I'm going to be unarmed. No, I'm going to be right down the middle.
You're not wrong.
Gun
You're
rights,
not wrong.
I'm for gay rights.
And I did.
For, you know,
Yeah,
no, I'm not saying I took it as any, you know, but.
All right, Cliff. I'm gonna detour real quick. I have 2% left on this cell phone because we all rely on technology. Like we have batteries.
True.
More little pink bunnies. Just keep drumming them drums, little pink bunny. The awesome fact with Trump's argument to delay the election is that if he does so, there are constitutional or laws set in place to state that he can no longer be in charge.
Right.
And that will fall.
Speaker of the House takes over.
And that will be part of Nancy Pelosi's role. And she is a Democrat from California.
I do hate that bitch too, though.
I
I'm
do
not
too.
gonna lie.
I don't.
She's better than
I'm
Trump
not arguing.
but I do hate
I'm
that
not
bitch
arguing,
too.
sweetheart. But she's Democrat halfway. We're gonna do a half.
We're
We're gonna do a half cheers.
I can only do
I
that
will
'cause
say
this
that.
year's almost
I will
gone.
say that.
But I'll
that
give you
she
that.
may not be.
I love
She
Sam.
may not be Obama, which is the man that I wish could come back, or Michelle. I really hope Michelle's VP. That would
He was alright.
probably break my heart in a million pieces.
I
if
feel like
she
the only thing
became
Obama
VP.
did for black people was give black people
Agreed.
hope that they may be able to be president.
Well,
But
Which
other
is
than
a
That's
that,
not. That's
and
not
I
a bad
agree.
thing.
I agree.
not
but
nothing.
other than
But like
that,
he
what
also
else?
still did drone strikes and killed a bunch of
Right,
civilians.
true.
So
Agreed.
like,
Agreed.
Obama's my favorite war criminal, but he's still a war
Right.
criminal.
Right.
Now, don't
Well,
get me
like, I
wrong.
gotta-
It's funny that even still, like, I mean, statistically, you can say Trump did more for blacks.
Well, I hear you.
But listen, when I
go
say
ahead.
that by
Okay.
design, it
Yep.
was only going to be that way. You can't have a
Well,
black president that does things
Agreed.
for black people too.
Agreed.
That's
Well-
not going to happen. It's going to be easier for a white dude to do it.
And I think that's
than any
actually
black
what's
dude.
interesting is Biden has actually put out like a Black America platform.
But
As he
I said
should.
that. But I said that to say
As he
before we
should.
get there, Obama is still my favorite president.
Not
Yeah,
Bill?
he's definitely my
Next
favorite president.
Next to Obama's my favorite president. Next to
Bush Jr.?
the GOAT of all presidents, John F. Kennedy, because he
Okay.
died before he
Yeah.
got a chance to do any wrong.
That's the whole.
John F. Kennedy
You
would
either-
have.
You either die a
would have
hero or
to-
live long enough
exactly.
to become the
Man,
villain.
That's
and
fair.
fools agree, sir.
He died before he could
That's
suck it up
the
too
only
much.
reason why Kennedy is the GOAT,
Right.
because he
Right.
died with a. Even though you fucked Marilyn Monroe, and let's be honest,
Who?
that might have gave him some
Point.
points. Even
Hello.
in
Yeah,
the
I
gay
feel like that's more of a positive than a negative.
Right, even in the gay community,
Thank you.
is that's not a bad thing.
No.
So,
I mean, my
Chill.
issue with Bill Clinton having sex with Monica Lewinsky is not that he had sex outside of marriage. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's that he fucked his 22-year-old intern, which means
Right.
she could not properly consent.
Right.
Like,
Right.
that is what's
Because
shitty
you're,
about
'cause
it.
you're in a
Oh,
power,
I don't
you're in a
give a
position
shit.
of power
Exactly.
over that.
I don't
I
get.
see
I don't
exactly
care
what
if he
you're
got some
saying.
head in the Oval Office.
Right.
Your job is hard. Get head all day. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but then when you well, no, I guess I get what you're saying.
Like, my issue was the like situation who was involved in it.
Okay,
if
so
it would have been
that's
somebody of his same
situational
level
consent.
that he
Right.
had no power over, just doing it, I wouldn't have cared at all.
If it had been the Secretary of the Treasury instead of an intern, you wouldn't have a problem with it, right?
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it would. I think somebody outside of politics that he is
Okay.
technically not the boss of would be ideal, but I would have had much less of a problem.
But
with
I mean,
it, yeah.
he's the president. Is he the boss of all Americans?
depends.
Donald Trump, sure enough, ain't my boss. Let's be very clear about that.
Can the president only get head from women in burqas?
Oh,
Birkenstocks.
I don't.
no,
What's
'cause
going
they're
on?
probably gay and they're not doing anything with him.
Birkenstocks or burqas?
Birkenstocks.
Listen, I don't know.
goodness.
I mean, you just like need somebody who is you're not directly in charge of, like somebody who works at Burger King down the road. Sure, have a ball.
But I feel like what Mike said is very true. You're still the president. You're well known. You're like, listen.
It's like
I mean,
the
you
Beatles.
definitely
There's
have
no
power
way that
either
people
way.
can't not
but-
see your face. Even if you don't have a TV or a phone or a home, chances
the
are
newspaper.
you know or have seen the president.
That
Right.
black and white
You
ink.
have like celebrity power, but you don't have like I can ruin your entire career forever for fun power as much as somebody who doesn't work. Now you do have the FBI, so you can just kill people.
Or your own private paramilitary, but
Yeah,
leave
like-
that alone.
I'm not saying it's a great
I mean,
system.
I
I'm just
mean.
saying.
It's not a system at all.
What system?
Right. What are we talking about?
Damn
No.
it.
We all got lost.
No.
Yeah,
Son of
I
a
don't even
bitch.
remember what were we
So
I know I'm having fun.
agreed.
So let's
Agreed.
fuck that up. Let's talk about I don't know.
Yeah,
You want to talk about COVID?
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, we'll
no.
leave that out of this episode.
Um,
Although, what I will say
I do kind of want to have an on-air conversation about what we're doing with schools versus sports.
I would love to
Yeah.
because I was internally screaming listening to your episode talking about it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
good
maybe
idea.
can we maybe do
I had a
that?
lot of
Can
thoughts.
we do a
Schools,
cigarette?
schools.
what
break?
I will say is this. This is the only thing I will say.
You want to take a break then,
Yeah,
and we'll
please.
keep going?
Yeah,
Can
y'all
we-
can do whatever
Can we
y'all.
take a breather and then
Y'all
talk
can do
about
whatever
COVID?
y'all would like about COVID. I'll tag in if I feel comfortable.
Right.
But what I will say is, I spoke with a woman today
Okay.
from
Why
our
you? I
job.
was gonna say, why are you pointing at me?
Not-
He said woman, and then he paused real quick, and then he said at our
Oh, I'm about
job.
to fight him.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
about to
yeah.
Fight
I know
him.
it's cool. I wouldn't judge you either way.
Listen.
I
but
still
no-
get called she for my aunt, so
Do you?
you're okay. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Sorry,
With
man.
all this facial hair and the fucking really. Do I sound like a lady? I mean, look
People who
like a
purposely
lady.
misgender
sorry,
people
bro, I'm
are the
sorry.
fucking worst.
You
I
know
don't
I
care.
fuck with you, but
I
that
really don't
is
care.
hilarious.
It's the
I'm
truth.
sorry.
It's the truth.
That's the.
That's the fucking truth. But look, it's all about acceptance, man.
Right. Listen,
We're gonna go have. I might ask. I'm gonna ask the. I'm look him straight in the eyes. A cigarette break for myself.
Oh, you can go downstairs and grab one anytime you need it. We don't pause the show or anything, but
That's
feel
what's
free.
up. That's what's up.
what?
I don't know.
you
You
were
were
talking
gonna
about
go
COVID.
something about
COVID.
COVID.
Oh, okay.
You talked to a
You were
woman
talking
at
to
your
a
work.
woman at
Right.
your work.
Woman at the job. This is one of the people. Remember, I said for my job, I hadn't talked to too many people that had COVID.
Right.
So I talked to a woman at my job had COVID. She said she had it 3 times over the span of 2 months before she completely kicked it.
Okay.
Now she says
Before she completely kicked it, which
Right.
was your point from last time.
that we
Yeah.
don't know if you ever got
If you
rid
ever
of
got
it
rid of it
first or
completely.
you caught it 3 times.
Or did it adapt in while you were battling it?
So listen, this is what she says. This
Which
is what
is what
she
I
says.
fear about a vaccine.
She says that
by the way.
she had breathing issues, but she said the same thing that I said. She was a black lady. Said the same thing I said. I refuse to go into the hospital and be put on a ventilator. I don't trust what they would do
agreed.
to me. In
Well,
there.
no, and especially a black female,
Right.
hospitals are in
Yeah,
medical
we know
professionals
that
are
wouldn't be safe
notorious.
for her, so I'm glad she didn't do that.
So what she says is she has albuterol treatments, which, listen, when she said that, because you know I used to have asthma.
Oh, yeah.
I immediately said, why the fuck did I try to turn mine into a smoking apparatus? Why didn't I save that albuterol treatment? She says albuterol treatment, she took the vitamins or whatever that people were saying, but she said within that 2-month time she had 3 instances where she almost died.
Okay.
Now this is what she says. She says that her husband had to get her out of it, had to snap her out of it, and what happened was each time he gave her cold water, and she said every time he gave her water, she felt like it energized her, like rejuvenated her, which led her. She said she believed that it's not a cardiovascular anything. She thinks that what's killing people is that people are dehydrating from it and they're passing out from dehydration, and then that's when
I mean, that kind
go.
of tracks with breathing issues in the sense that if you're always hacking, you're expelling fluid.
That does make
time.
sense, huh?
But I don't know.
I have also read that it might like be neurological. Like we just don't know anything about
exactly.
it.
That's why. We
just don't know anything.
That's why I say I hate talking about it so much, because people talk about it in so much concrete when nothing about it is concrete.
Well, that's the problem with it being a
I don't
new
necessarily
virus.
think we have anything of value to talk about COVID itself. I would be definitely interested in talking about schools and ways schools are choosing to open or not. But like, I have nothing to add about COVID. We don't know shit, and it's scary.
We're still learning. That's why I don't like talking about it, because it's like it's almost like the shit that people are talking about with Trump and the African lady spreading misinformation. Well, excuse me, I don't want to be that person. And we're talking about what we think we know. Yeah. Because that's what they're doing right now, talking about what
I'll tell you what I think though.
They know.
I do think it's all because of demon sperm and alien DNA.
I can't.
Well,
I think COVID started in alien DNA.
First and foremost, allow me to shed light on all of you sons of bitches. Demon sperm is realer than you think.
That's how you came to be, isn't it?
Would you like to elaborate, please?
And alien DNA, you may find that in more people than you know. That's 1 and 2. Let me just say that. And I may be a product of both. Who knows? Scotty, beat me up, bitch. Star Trek references. Where's Jake?
Right, if I have any alien DNA in me and they're looking down and being like, let's see how and nobody is saving me from this fucking year of a situation, I'm pissed. Fuck those alien relatives. They're not real.
It's funny that you say that, because I've had that thought in my mind before. Like, what if? And I think to myself that they're just counting down, like he's going to flip out in T minus 10, 9, 8. And it's like a 20 Jack Bauer 24 clock, and it's just going boop, boop, and eventually I'm gonna be like launch, and you're gonna see jet boosters come out of my heels, and I'm gonna be a black ass Iron Man, flip out on the world. I'm telling you this. I'm just being.
I wouldn't blame you.
All right, while we wait for Jake to come back and maybe head into our main topic for the evening. I am going to go through the chat. We had our discussion.
What discussion?
We had our discussion via text, but I still want to hit the chat. I won't.
Oh no!
I won't weaponize the
right.
chat. I got accused of weaponizing the chat. And he's probably right. He's right. So we'll take a break. Probably about 15 minutes left in the hour for both hours, and then we'll run through the chat. Just so folks that are chiming in the chat, we haven't forgotten about you. We talked about changing the flow a little bit and making it a little bit more succinct, and taking some breaks here to specifically address the chat. So Colin's chiming in. Westworld's too trippy. Robots are humans and humans are robots.
What?
That's kind of what Westworld is.
I knew there were some androids involved, but that's all I know about the show.
So Westworld is about very human-looking robot artificial intelligence. And Westworld itself...
Can you fuck them?
That's like half of the purpose of the
I love
first
that
season.
that's your first question.
Because who else is making human-looking robots unless we want to fuck them?
Okay, it's fine. As long as I can fuck it, not get electrocuted, it's fine.
So that's
right.
That's like, where I think you might actually like the first season, even though it goes a little too time.
Can you procreate with it? Is really that was the deeper? Okay.
Now, what ends up happening is they're able to not necessarily clone, but they're able to design bodies that look like people, and that's kind of where the third season devolves and goes a little crazy. So
2020, Westworld,
right,
2020.
right. So check that out.
I already am confused about what's real with the internet, like, is it cake thing that I can't add the android and robots into it.
I would bet my life savings as we speak that we have androids that are of enough to...
What I think is
I would bet my life savings on it.
All I'm going to say is I think we are still in the point of the uncanny valley when it comes to AI.
I don't think they're walking around amongst us, but I bet in a cave or in a facility they got one that they talk to like me and you.
Go look at Whitney Cummings
thinking about doing a podcast.
Latest special.
The sex
robot.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but that's old news. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's NES.
Right.
That's NES, bro.
You're not wrong.
We're coming
so
up
you're
on
saying
Xbox
there's a PlayStation 4
Scarlet
Android
shit.
hiding somewhere.
So,
I'm telling you, just like me and Mike are talking right now, there's somebody having a conversation and neither one of them knows which one's the Android.
Well, and you heard the story about where they had the two AIs that talk to each other. They basically developed like two chatbots to talk to each other. And I think it was within hours or maybe even 30 minutes, they developed their own language to speak faster, so that because what they realized was human language is too primitive.
Right.
No, that's some shit.
They
unplugged both of those motherfuckers.
I bet you they're still moving. If they figured their own language, they were like, yeah, these motherfuckers are probably about to unplug us in about 2 days, so we need to figure out real quick
how do we
how
get
we're going to
bodies?
sustain our own. Come on now, like
they can program them with a will to live.
We are in the known unknown right now.
You are right.
What I mean by that is the only thing known is unknown.
Sci-fi is quickly becoming more and more reality.
It's not even sci-fi. It's everything. Like it's literally everything. Like we're at the point where you can take somebody's face and voice and record just that.
Deepfake.
And
that stuff.
Exactly. And I can create something saying, kill everyone, bomb this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, like we're living in that right now.
You're not wrong. So Colin wraps up with Dolores is watching. That's another reference from Westworld. Dolores is kind of the main AI that takes over.
You remember when everybody made a big deal about putting the traffic cameras on the lights?
Yeah.
Everybody was like, Big Brother, Big Brother. And look at us now. You can fucking Google your own house.
That's the thing.
In real time.
Everybody talks about, like, the surveillance state, here and in China and kind of in every developed place. You realize they can do 98% of that all from satellites without the cameras on the ground, right?
Period.
Like, you
have a phone.
Right.
We all have phones.
Right.
I decided that my privacy was not worth I would chose convenience over privacy. It's just a fact. They know where I am right now. I'm sure there's an FBI agent listening to me talk about how much I fucking hate Nancy Pelosi on this bitch all day.
Listen, it doesn't matter.
It just is.
You can waterboard me. You can rip my toenails out. You can do whatever you choose to do. I'm going to tell you.
I'd prefer if you didn't, for me personally. Agent listening to me, I'm not volunteering.
Exactly how I feel. At the start of the conversation to the end, you can ask me any question you like. Anybody that knows me knows. I'll tell you exactly how I feel, even if I know it'll hurt your feelings.
Right.
Well, yeah, there's not really a point not to.
Period. So
we're adults.
There's not anything that you could do that would change the way that I feel about, and I feel the way I feel because of history, because of downloaded data.
Yeah. It's experience. That's what experience is, right?
Now, at the same time, I have enough knowledge in me to know that sometimes I have preconceived notions. I have prejudices, and I need to get rid of those because all they are weaknesses in the long run.
At the end of the day, they keep you from learning.
And it's not, I don't even look at it that way. I'm keeping myself from understanding exactly who and what that is that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
If I automatically put you in a bubble, I'm discrediting you. I'm lowering your abilities.
I mean, it's what you said about racists and black folks.
Right.
You're underestimating a potential enemy.
Right, you're automatically putting me lower than what I actually am, which is in turn going to bite you in the ass. So in this regard, which is why I'm so open to learn, is even if I don't agree, and understand, I may not agree, I still want to understand.
Yeah.
And hopefully, in my understanding, if I feel like I'm wrong, I'll change my mindset from not agreeing to agreeing.
Or even just being open to the
this guy right
conversation.
here is
Understanding.
a good example of
Yeah.
that. Because, and the only reason why I'll say that is because anybody that knows Jake knows that Jake he vibrates high. He vibrates at a high frequency.
That's why I have a THC tattoo and a medical marijuana card for Ohio, sir.
Listen, beyond that,
I mean, that's what the essence is.
I've seen my G upset. I've
Yeah.
seen my G happy. He treats everybody the same. I've never seen him treat someone shitty because he was in a bad mood.
Well,
Gotcha. Well, props to him for that then.
It's not about.
And when I say you vibrate at a high frequency, you get my attention when you're someone like that.
Right.
Because a lot of people aren't like that. It's
Yeah.
hard.
It's hard to do that.
Right.
At least it's hard. It would be hard for me to do that.
Right.
Now this goes back to everybody operates differently. Yeah.
Misdirected anger.
Right.
I'm angry at something else, and I misdirect that to this because this is the closest thing to me that I can beat up on.
I try
But
to
with
be
me
real.
knowing what I'm capable of, I don't feel like I should beat up on anything.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I should misdirect anything. So when I see somebody like this that comes from a completely different background,
Just a
it's
vulnerable
different.
spot.
And it's funny that you say that because it's the truth.
Yeah.
One of the conversations I had
it
with
is.
him, with him being a transgendered man, is I don't know that you're not
A man.
a real man.
Right.
And everybody says, "What is a real man?" Well, let's be honest,
I was just gonna say he is a real man. He's
Right.
a man.
right?
Right.
But the only difference is you don't have the man chemicals kicking in your brain.
I mean, a
No,
lot
I
of trans
do.
people take tea, so they absolutely do.
I get that, but it's a difference
It's,
between growing up with that in your brain than
Yeah.
getting it at some point.
He may not have the same toxic masculinity that people who are raised male have.
And,
I
and
like
it
that
could
you
be,
use that term.
and I get that. I definitely do get that. But some of it is animal instinct as well.
I get the
One
same
thing
way.
that I will
There
say
is some
is
nature to it.
exactly. One thing that I will say is it doesn't matter if you get the most feeble,
Right.
weak man in the world.
Right.
He knows when someone's talking to him.
Right.
I'm in danger.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's about to hurt me.
Well, no, it's not even a talk. It's a look.
Anything.
It's
Yeah.
a fucking.
They know
well,
as a man,
for
me being
it's
another
a fucking
man.
look.
Triggers the fight or flight.
Right.
I mean, I would argue that women have that,
Oh, of course.
and they have to
Some.
protect
Some.
themselves.
Yeah.
Some do.
Yeah.
Some do, but the only difference is transitioning from a woman to a man. Me being a man of my regard, looking at you,
Right.
I have no sympathy for him
Right.
because you look like a man.
And nor should you.
So if I hurt you, I'm not mad that I
Right.
hurt you because that's another man that I was dealing with.
Hey, Cliff.
But in the actuality, that's not a man that I'm dealing with. You get what I'm saying?
Hey.
I mean, I just disagree. To me, you are dealing with a man. And, like, would you have sympathy if you hurt me? Because,
Of
like,
course.
but,
because-
like, if you, in my opinion, if
it's
you hurt
different. It's
someone, you
different
should feel
because-
bad no matter what.
Understandable. Understandable.
I might be misunderstanding you. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Right. But this is one of those things that I addressed last week. As a man and a woman, there's not too much understanding we've come to realize over this whole existence we've been here. We're still
Right.
fighting to understand each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Well.
All I'm saying is, as a
Right.
man, and remember, do you remember the exact situation that we discussed this?
Yep.
I said, Jake, you're my guy.
Yep.
I don't want to see anything happen to you.
Right.
And I know you as a man, you
Right.
speak
And I act.
and you act.
Like,
And-
well, no. I speak and look. I don't act like
Right,
a man.
right. So that
Because that was the
you
whole.
just wrapped it up
that
right
was
there.
the whole issue.
He was involved.
I was acting like a gay ass man in the workplace.
I wouldn't even say no. We're talking about a different thing. I'm talking
Perception.
about when the dude hopped out of his car on you
I mean,
in that road rage incident.
I mean, you just have to. So, I think that comes down to, or that boils down to.
You as a man
If-
are gonna come into other situations like that, though.
Well, and that's a learning process for me.
Right.
Right. I don't. I'm still. I think that's why I have a gun. I think that was the reason for my
Right.
purchase. I live an hour outside of Columbus, Trump Town, USA.
Yikes.
Cornfields, sheep, llamas.
Samantha, what do you know about outside of Columbus? About an hour.
Oh yeah, grew up in
cornfields,
London, Ohio. I was there Thursday with my bumper sticker that says that Donald Trump is a white supremacist. I got some
agree.
looks.
I agree.
I'm not saying London's racist, but they're in our league.
Oh no, you
and
should say it.
Wait, I was getting there.
Right.
But
I'm
they're
saying
in
it.
our league, and we played them week 10 2 years ago.
Right.
they
And
had
I'm just saying
stickers
the N
on their
word came
helmet
out
every
a
time
lot.
they got
Right.
Oh man,
Right.
every time they got
I
a
mean,
tackle, they put swastika stickers.
You
on
got
their
a lot of
helmets.
white people who think that because the only black kid at London
Like
gave them the
Buckeyes.
pass to say the N-word
Right.
out for their own. There's like 2 or 3 black kids at London,
Right.
and usually they put
And
up with
hell
a
of a
lot of
running back.
bullshit,
Looked
like
Spencer
like
James.
handing out N-word passes to white kids for
Right.
their own
Right.
personal safety.
Right.
That
Right.
because that happened, that they must not be racist, and
Oh, yeah.
London's a whole ass mess. Now, not
Right.
hashtag not all London, whatever. I'm sure there are people there that are not trash, but if we're doing an
Agreed.
overarching theme, it's
Right.
racist as fuck.
I don't
Well,
want to
right.
paint London all with one brush, but
I will.
So are they north or south
What's
of
that?
Columbus? Are they north or south of
London's
Columbus?
straight due west.
Due west. Okay, so I'm straight north. 23 High Street.
I know.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
we're married. Yeah.
So I get you. I totally agree. I went to a junior high school, and I came out. I came out in junior high school. Right.
That's gotta be
And
tough,
that was as
yeah.
a lesbian, right? And you have all these tractor farm guys. Because I didn't know. Well, my mom was a nurse, and she said, like, the first or second time I came out to her, because I tried to really convince her of, hey, what's going on? This is my life. She said, well, do you want to be a man? And I was like, yeah, maybe. So at that time, you guys were talking about internet and technology and how we can look up stuff.
Yeah.
At that point, I got on Google, or I think it was AOL at that point, dial-up, and I looked it up. Like, what does this mean? So for me, it was, I didn't really understand any of it, and I didn't really process it until later in life. But, we all have to find common ground, and I think my hardest part with the whole political climate right now is people are having a harder and harder time to do that.
Well, and it's
And
because
separation.
the current, the unfortunate thing is somebody cracked the code,
Right.
being Trump,
Right. Yes,
around you can win with emotion. And once emotion is part of the equation,
Right.
there is no more logical, rational conversation.
Right.
And that's
I
kind
mean,
of
there's
that's kind of where we're
also.
at.
I want to find common ground with everybody, sure, but there's a certain type of when I'm trying to convince you of someone's humanity and dignity and right to be alive and exist,
Right.
we are not on the same moral playing field
Right.
that I can even have a conversation with.
I agree with you on
Like
that.
our personal values are so different.
Well, and I think
If I
that
have
was-
to convince you that hanging people by the neck from a tree because they're black is bad,
Right.
then I can't. I don't want to find common ground
Right.
with you.
No, and I
Because
think that's fair.
there's
too.
a certain level that
Right.
we cannot connect.
Right.
It's just impossible.
Well, I think that's the big thing that you've seen in terms of, the meme that always speaks to me the most is, no, not everyone that voted for Trump is a racist
I got
bigot,
it. I didn't care.
but they also decided that
You
wasn't
see
a
me?
deal
I was
breaker,
like,
right?
what?
And,
Yeah.
And for me, that is.
Right,
And if it's not
right.
for you, then guess what? We no longer have a common ground that we can reach.
Right.
From a
Yeah,
moral
and that's
standpoint.
there's the bumper sticker that I put on my car that I went to Fat Daddy's Pizza to get my food like I always do because I used to work there growing up,
Right.
and my boss was like, "You're real brave rolling through London with that bumper sticker because it's from a song. It says Donald Trump is a white supremacist. Full stop." And the second line of the song is, "If you vote for him again, you're a white supremacist. Full stop." And one of the workers at Fat Daddy's was like, "So I guess I'm a white supremacist then, are I?" And I was like, well, if you're willing to vote for one, I'd say that's a symptom, yeah.
Right.
I think voting for a white supremacist is a symptom of the disease of white supremacy, so I guess so.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to fucking couch your
sugarcoating
feelings,
it.
bitch.
I'm no longer
I don't have time.
sugarcoating it.
Fans for me to
Yes.
share that
Yes.
information.
I think
I
I'm at
don't-
that point. I'm at that point too, Samantha.
I'll
I'm
keep
done
that to myself.
sugarcoating I told Cliff I was on the way down from Marion, and I went to like Kroger, and on the outside of the store,
I'm sorry, real
I'm
quick.
taking it there.
Give us more subscribers, and I'll get realer. I'll get a lot more real.
By the
if
way, we
have
got
it.
up to 42 on Facebook, so if we can get that number up to 50, maybe
That'd be
Cliff will
awesome.
join us.
Listen, I'll be a
So
lot
So do
more
us a
real.
favor. If you're listening live tonight, go give us a like, a subscribe, or share it with your friends and
I'll
family
be
and ask them to give us a
100%.
like and a subscribe.
And I'll be motherfuckers in my own circle to be pissed at me because I'll be 100% real. I'll
Just
start giving names and all
Ripping
that.
off
Yeah,
Band-Aids.
yeah. Well, no, I won't give no names
So-
because I ain't no snitch.
Right.
But this and that.
So let me jump in real quick. I
Yes.
do want to run
Wait,
through.
Yes, sir.
what was Jake saying?
Yeah,
Can we
finish up.
get out what you were saying? I'm sorry.
Bro, I lost this.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's like
Alright.
this.
I didn't
It's
mean to steal that from you.
And I'm sure we'll get back to it.
Yeah,
Let me run
we'll
through
find
just
it.
the last couple of comments in the chat, and then let's keep this
I remember
conversation
what you were about
going.
to say.
So, Uncle Dan chiming in with Bonzo in 2020. Colin, Howie Hawkins, Right In Yang.
Who's Bonzo?
I have no idea.
I'm with him, Uncle Dan.
I'm assuming he means like the clown.
Gonzo? I don't know.
Like he means.
Bozo? I don't know. We'll see. He'll probably chime in here in about
I'm
20
sure,
seconds.
and
It's a reference that I probably should know that he's gonna yell at
I'm
me.
still with my G. I'm a vote with you, Uncle Dan. When you going?
So Uncle Dan talking about COVID. Lizard people started it.
Yeah.
And then going into the AI, Cliff knows schedule for termination.
Listen,
And then he wraps up with
Mike
but
with
not
the Carnegie Mellon. Okay.
Right.
I'm
no,
still-
I'm already safe.
I'm still. I don't know. I still feel like I might need to cut him to see what's up
So-
under that skin.
Is it red blood or black
But
blood?
right.
I need to see
Machine
if-
oil.
Oh, you-
Are
yeah,
there
oil,
circuits in there, sir, or what?
He said, "I got you. I got you."
Put that
Have you
shit
seen
away.
the Old Guard? Have you seen
I
the
have
old?
not, but it's on my
I've
list.
heard it's
Banger.
fantastic, but I have not watched
Banger.
it.
Fools agree.
All right, so
Man.
Bonzo was a chimp.
Banger.
Uncle Dan also chimed in with, but non-binary folks would probably argue the underlying premise of male versus female delineation is a myth.
Wait, what?
I
We need to look that
believe-
up.
That's to say, we don't really, I don't know if we have time to get into all that, but every time I listen to y'all's episodes and you say, well, I'm the man and and they're a woman, it pisses me the fuck off.
I mean, I
Deep
get it.
in my soul,
I hear
I
you.
get pissed off. And I don't know if we want to get into it. I just need you to.
I mean,
I-
maybe towards the end of our education.
Definitely
I-
can.
And then Colin just wrapping up with the fact that he coached in London. Parent called one of the coaches a monkey for a bad play, calling weird culture down there. So
Yep.
Wait, what?
Colin coached in London for I think a year, maybe 2 years.
I'm sorry, because it's a
And had
bad team,
parent,
too.
Yeah. Well, they were actually pretty good. The year we made the playoffs, they were 9-0 heading into Week 10 with us. I mean, we beat them,
Nice.
Oh,
but
there
they
was
made a run in the playoffs as well.
nothing
See, all
I
of my
love
high school, they were trash.
More than
Them
to
beating
play,
an undefeated team.
No, than to play teams I knew were racist.
Oh yeah.
Right. Oh,
And I'm
hell yeah.
and listen,
Oh, hell
if
yeah.
somebody has
That's some
proof,
legal shit right
file
there. bro.
charges. I'm
He-
going to
he
try to
did
break
not-
your arm in that pile.
He didn't have a
I'm
shit.
going
Hell
to
yeah.
do everything I can to hurt you.
I hear
If I
you.
can get
Further
my
racist
fingers
2020,
inside your
yes.
face mask,
Yes,
I'm going to
sir.
try to gouge your eyes.
I hear you.
Hey,
I
If
don't
that ref
disagree.
does not see it, I'm going to do if I could carry this knife into
he said his left.
I'm just
He
playing.
didn't fucking know. I feel
If I
it,
could tuck
bro.
it into my cup,
Okay.
I'm just playing.
I know. We'll
But
talk.
no, I was serious
We'll
about
talk,
everything but weapons.
Right.
Dead ass.
I mean,
Anything
get
I
it.
can get off, I'm gonna try to do.
Why wouldn't you?
All right. So Samantha, give us some education.
I play for Gehenna, so you know I be them my ratings.
So, we don't necessarily, like, I'm not here, I don't have a lecture ready or anything.
I thought that was the whole
The-
point.
The first thing that, well, that's not interesting to
I
listen
understand.
to or
I
to watch.
understand. I'm
It's
with
just
you.
me,
Well,
you
let
know,
me-
giving
like
you a
to talk
lecture.
about.
So I assumed that you guys might have some questions you would like to talk about.
Okay, so let me lead with this, because what you said previously about what makes you upset about talking about the men and women thing is what the whole thing that my first question would be, and I'm not saying, because I said this previously, that I do feel like certain men of a certain generation were raised broken, but I do feel like, what man could you name that was a gatherer and not a hunter back in the day.
So I guess for
Johnny
me,
Appleseed.
we're not back in the day, so I don't really
but
give
see,
a
no,
shit.
but no, you can't do that.
But like,
no, wait,
there are like
You can't-
cultures,
well,
like Viking cultures
though.
and things, where
I-
women would do the hunting.
I understand
Like that did exist.
Right, I understand that, and that's culturally. But what I'm saying is, as a whole in society, you mostly see men doing the hunter situation,
The warrior,
the women doing the gatherer. And all I'm saying is, I would feel like if what you were saying was true, you would see more tribes where the women were the Amazons. And I only say that because the comic book reference, you know what I mean, where they're running things and the men are. You didn't see that.
Right.
You just didn't see that. And even as a Viking situation, the women hunted with the men.
Hey, Cliff.
It wasn't the women hunting by themselves.
Why do you think God is male?
I don't think God is male. God is male.
Partial?
We had this conversation before too.
Oh yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I don't think that either.
I
don't think Jesus was male. I don't think Jesus was male. I think someone of that the way we talk about him being that empathetic and all that could only be a woman. And I feel like in our misogynist history, it would have to be rewritten as a man if I'm the person in power.
Right.
I couldn't have that be a woman if I'm the man in power.
The patriarchy.
So Caesar.
That's the whole.
Absolutely.
So you're Caesar Augustus.
That's how black people feel. Where it's like, well, damn, you're not giving us credit for anything.
Right.
So you've already given black folks proof that you do this.
Right.
So you've given me enough to know that I believe Jesus was a woman.
Why wouldn't you? Why would? So okay, and this might blow everyone's mind.
But before we get there, all I'm saying was, clearly there is something written in DNA.
Right.
There is animal instinct in men. Men, just like dogs, just like when you see a dog's
naturally
hair
more
stand
physical,
up.
naturally more aggressive.
It's not even that. I can recognize when you're getting that way.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? That's not something that women do. Most women push you to the point where it's like, oh, well, we're beyond that now. No, I can tell when a man is getting to the point where, oh, his hair's about to raise up on his arm.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're about to get into an aggressive situation where his voice is about to raise. You
yeah.
saw it. Watch last
week's episode.
Me and Mike did the standoff right then and there.
Right.
I think even if it is something that maybe was written in our DNA ages ago, I don't have enough information to argue that point either way, so I'm not gonna try. My thing is that just like we've evolved in I use a fork and knife when I eat. I cook my food.
Yeah,
I don't go hunting with a bow.
Right.
We have evolved. I think that
I refuse to use silverware.
I think that it holds men back. This idea of, well, men are this, women are this, holds men back and stops them from evolving into other things.
150%. I agree with that 150%.
I've heard a lot from you guys when I listen to the show, and it makes me really frustrated of why, and I'm going to call Mike out because, Cliff, you don't have a partner that you talk about on the show. If you have one, you don't talk about them, but as far as I know, you do not.
I don't.
Whereas Mike will say, well, my wife expects me to be the, holder of her feelings, but I'm the protector, and bitch, you're both. So is she. She brings money into this household. You both together protect your child, and you should both, in your relationship, be responsible for each other's feelings. Because why the fuck would only one of you do that?
Well, listen, let me say something here, and I just want to say this. And this is the odd irony of being the ones in front of the camera. Is there's always going to be a vice versa situation. There's going to be the exact same situation Shar feels that men could feel like, why don't you feel that way? But the bottom line is the reason why I set a preface it when I say something like, this is going to sound rough.
Right.
Because I want to let the people know this is me acknowledging my wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're putting ourselves out there for people to judge and do that. Shar's and everybody else isn't doing that.
Right.
And
Well,
if
and it's
they,
not like I never hear that and think that Mike is a bad husband. I know him, and I know he loves his wife and is a great husband and father. I just think this mindset of because I am the man, I can't be like this.
See what
is holding men back in general.
So what I would
this
what I would
idea
challenge
of men
you with,
are A.
What I would challenge you with there though is I say those things in the sense of I want you to understand that that's not my natural tendency. That is not, my first instinct there.
right.
And that could be just as much nature and nurture, to your point. Like, let's face
exactly.
Let's face it. You know how I was raised.
Yeah.
You know my family. You also know that, like, taking care of each other's feelings wasn't that big a deal in my family. So, like, naturally, whether that's nature or nurture, it might be. It is both in my case.
Yeah.
Like, that is not my natural disposition.
You know what? It's funny. It's funny.
I love my
Rita.
I know you watch the
real.
show, Mom. I know you watch. I love you.
Oh, I love her.
We were not the most emotional and touchy feely family.
Period.
Ever.
And that's
I
not
remember the first time you came to a family function and we were all hugging each other. You looked
anybody
scared.
should be. That's not anything that anybody should feel uncomfortable about saying.
Right.
Is the thing.
Right.
But
Yeah.
but at the same time, like that's absolutely right. The whole reason why you said that, I don't know if you have anyone yourself, is because I know that much. I'm very hard on people. Him included. Him included.
Agreed.
Which is why I said, listen, when he told me about that situation with the dude jumping out the car, bro, you gotta start working on boxing immediately.
Right.
You can't only feel comfortable when
Right.
you got your gun in your
Oh,
lap.
man.
You're not always gonna have your
Well,
gun, and I need to know you're gonna be
and-
safe in a situation
and-
without
Right.
it.
2 points to the argument. A, I did not have my gun.
Right.
B, I was smart enough to speed on the freeway to get ahead of the motherfucker, because I knew the motherfucking state highwaymen were down the fucking street.
But you shouldn't have to do that, though. is
I
my
shouldn't
thing.
have to.
You shouldn't have to risk a $250
No.
ticket because you're nervous because the
No.
dude's chasing you hopping out of his
But
car.
I'm smart enough.
And
I'm
what
smart.
I'm saying is so I think it is all like a train of doom. So men have this idea that they have to be this way, and then they put that on their sons. Don't cry. I'll give you something to cry about. Why are you crying? You're a man up. They put that on their sons. Their sons internalize that, and then when they're older, think that that's just how men are, and they don't take a second to say, hey, maybe some of this is learned behavior.
Yeah.
And if you can learn a behavior, you can sure as hell unlearn it.
Right.
So now, just the same way white people have to unlearn racism they've been taught their whole lives in a racist society, men need to unlearn misogyny for themselves.
Well, and
They have their own ideas of what men are that they have to work on and not just fall back on, well, I'm a man, that's how men are.
And I will tell you, as a father of a young boy, a little boy, I do catch myself about to say things like, you want something to cry about? I'll give you something to cry. I have never once said that to my son. I have told him, you can cry. I'm not going to feel sorry for you right now.
Man,
but you're
stop.
allowed to cry, and you're allowed to you're allowed to get your feelings out. But understand that that's not where...
Let's stop. I've said that to my daughter.
Right.
Stop it.
Right.
You're not about to
Yeah.
just be crying just to be crying. Let's stop it. Are we going to do this?
Right.
Right.
Are you really going to do this?
Really?
I don't care
I
if you're
will
a
have
boy,
some of
a
that.
girl. I don't care if it's misogyny. I don't care what it is.
I
I'm
get
preparing warriors.
Right.
This world is strong. It's
Right, and
hard.
you're weak.
I can't
Not
have a
everybody
girl.
cares about
Yeah.
your fucking feelings.
I can't. You know what?
But I will say
You know
that
what?
crying doesn't equal weakness. That's
I-
a very male
I
thing
know,
to
I know,
think.
you're
I
100
can cry and punch you in the
Listen,
fucking
you are-
face at the
listen,
same time.
You're 100% correct, and fools agree on that.
They
But at the
sure
same
do.
time, I don't like the word misogyny at the same time because I don't get me wrong. I know that I have traits of, but my
We all
daughter
do.
was just with me overnight. You
Right.
know what we did? Our night consisted of
Painting nails. and
no
watching
no
UFC?
sir, no sir.
UFC.
Shooting the BB gun.
Okay.
Get your aim right. Mind
Right,
you, she
right.
was she hit 100% every shot. She did
That's
not miss.
amazing. Good
My
for her.
daughter,
Yeah.
my daughter is a one shot, one kill. She's ringing
next
beer
Annie
bottles
Oakley.
like Noel. I thought it was Christmas time. Is what I'm saying.
Did you hear that clip?
I-
And that's-
the next
I don't
Annie.
Listen,
think there's
after
anything
that,
wrong with that.
We do that, and I
Yeah.
explained to her why I'm telling you I want you to learn this.
Yeah.
As you should.
We don't know. You
Well,
may listen. Let's be God forbid. You may be a single mom.
Right.
You may have to be the mom and the dad of
Right.
the situation, and you may need to know how to work a firearm and protect your household.
And to vacuum.
We get back into the house after that. Next thing she says is, "Pops, can you work on my boxing?"
Right. My mom was a single
And those
mom.
are the things. That's what I'm. It's not misogyny.
Yeah.
Those
Well,
are
to
things
me-
that you.
Traits.
And I understand that we're raised different, but
Right.
those are
Traits.
things that you have to understand that certain kids need. And I don't even mean certain kids. I actually mean all kids. I
That's
feel
my
like
thing too. All
self-defense-
kids should have that.
Self-defense
They
should be
should
in
also
school.
learn empathy and that it's okay to cry
I
and that
agree.
you can have
Right.
feelings.
I also agree.
So,
If
like,
self-defense was in
both
school,
need
you wouldn't
both.
have bullying.
Right.
There wouldn't be
Right.
bullying if you could see, if I could show you this kid with glasses can punch just as hard as you, who weighs 20 pounds heavier than you.
Right.
I think there
Especially
was.
if I name him by name. Oh, Brian's bothering you? Let me show you how to punch just as hard as Brian. Show me that.
I think that's
Now,
why they
now
had.
give me some ass behind it. Give me some hit when you throw that.
Right.
And I guarantee you Brian's going to look and be like, not messing with Tyler anymore.
Yeah.
But
I
we
just
live
think
in
it's
a world where
important
we
that both
breed.
genders get both
we-
things.
I agree.
And when we have the idea that men are supposed to be this way and women are supposed to be that way, you are helping to break that
So-
cycle.
I
You
mean,
and
so
Mike
what,
do that.
What I would
I
say
agree
though
with
to an
your
is
children.
extent.
What
I
I would-
agree to an extent.
I-
you can be as open as you want, but you will know how to protect your family, and you will know how to do this.
Well-
you can cry, you can do whatever, but you will know how to do this, and there is no
Right.
if and or but about it. Do you
Right.
want something to cry about?
And to agree with Sam and agree with you, my whole point is, I completely agree on the sense that they need to be able to do both. They need to be able to defend themselves. They also need to be able to be empathetic, and they need to realize the difference between the situations that call for each.
Right.
Whoa.
That's the
Yeah,
point I was.
that's
That's
really,
the point
really
I was trying
important.
to make,
That is
Sam. The reason why I'm alone is because I know I'm hard on people.
Well,
I wasn't raised, like you said, I wasn't raised like that. So a lot of the things that happen, I don't understand, and it's like I'm
Right.
not gonna try.
Right.
I'm at the point, my age right now.
I am
where
old enough to know that I'm not going to change in certain
you're
regards.
right. I'm gonna change if I know I'm wrong, but I'm not gonna try to figure out why you are crying.
And
That's
that's-
your problem.
Right.
You
To
are
me-
being weak right now. I'm out of
But
it.
see, that is, you have it in your head that crying equals weakness. Sometimes I cry
If
because
you're
I'm
crying-
pissed off.
Right, but if you're crying for no reason, that's the same reason why I say, Karma, do you want a reason to cry?
But a
If
lot
you're
of
crying
times,
for no
and
reason-
this is my teacher brain. I don't have a child. I'm not gonna pretend like I know shit about raising kids because I don't.
Same.
I am child free by choice.
Same.
They
very
manipulate
purposely.
you with crying. That's the first
Yeah.
thing you
Well,
So
learn
like
with kids.
students do the same thing. Children will cry because they don't want to do their work. So what I say is usually
So
you
don't.
can be pissed off, you can be sad, you can cry. There's still a worksheet on your desk that I expect to be finished
Thank
in
you.
30 minutes.
Yes.
So
I mean,
I'm never
I'm
going to
the
tell a
opposite.
kid,
Right.
That's why I don't have a
I,
girlfriend. So
for
don't
me,
do it.
I don't want to
Fail.
punish a child
Right.
Fail
for
out.
crying.
Right.
So
And
what?
when, to me, when you say, "Oh, I'll give you something to cry about," that is, if you show weekness in crying,
I'm going
and I
to,
can't
yeah.
understand what you're
I get
crying
that.
because you are young and cannot explain to me
No.
why you're crying,
No, no,
you
no, no,
deserve
no.
a punishment.
Because the first thing, well, I don't know about Mike, but the first
I get
thing, well, the first thing most parents do when a kid cries, when you're a new parent, is ask a kid, what are you crying about? What's
Right.
wrong?
Okay.
What's wrong?
Right.
Then after a while, you get to a point where
You
they can't
understand
tell
why
you
they're
what's
crying.
wrong, or they're
Right.
just crying because they know you're gonna. What's wrong?
It's the attention.
What's
yeah.
wrong?
Okay.
Yeah, shut that
When
shit
I was
up.
growing up, I
Shut
had a
that
lot
shit
more
up.
of the "you're crying, I'm gonna give you something to cry about." There was not
Yeah,
a "why are you
it's
crying"
always
first.
well, what's wrong? Karma, why are you
Right.
crying? And usually it's, well, I'm frustrated because I'm not doing something right.
Right,
Well, if
right.
you calm down and listen,
Exactly.
then we can get it right.
It's funny that you
And that's you
use-
teaching them coping skills,
Right.
Right,
which is
right. Other
empathy, which
than
is
that,
good.
but if
That's
you're just crying to
fantastic.
cry, then it's, well, what are you
Rationale.
crying about? I don't know. Then shut the fuck up.
Right. And I get
Or go
that.
Sometimes
to
you
your
just
room
need
and
to cry.
cry to
Right.
yourself.
Right. And
Oh, that's true. I do when I need to
That's
just cry because the
different.
world's on
Yes,
fire. I
Queen.
do
Go
that
to
by
your
my damn
room,
self.
but don't bring that negativity on everybody else. Like I said, we all
Get the matches.
work off of vibrations,
Right.
and you're
Right.
bringing our
And-
vibes down, little girl.
Right.
Go in your
No.
fucking room.
The way.
I will have students who are really upset, and they'll tell me, "I'm not sure why I'm upset." I'm like, "Do you want to go wash your face off in the babathroom?
Right,
Like,
go
take a
take a
break,
break.
I
because
will-
you're not going to sit here
Right.
and weep
I
in the
will
middle of my
baby
writing
no one.
lesson because we have
Exactly.
shit to do."
That's how I
Well,
feel. I will
right.
baby No one.
And
No one gets babies.
It's interesting we're getting on that tip because I'm with you, Cliff. Like,
love everyone.
My son gets that way when
no one gets babied.
Mostly when he's frustrated.
Not
with
even not even the gatherers get babied now.
Right.
We all got it. We're only as strong as our weakest link.
Yes, sir.
And that's as a family. That's as a world.
That's
right.
as
So
done.
once we get to the point where we're all supposed to, and I'm not saying we're supposed to be weak. We're supposed to be empathetic, and I agree with that. We are at a point in life where there is no empathy. People aren't empathetic with people. People aren't easy with people, and it does, even to me, someone that can be dismissive and ignore it, like that I'm sorry that happened, but that's on you. It hurts me as well.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen things that have hurt my soul. Listen, I'm not gonna say the exact post. I saw some on World Stars about this autistic girl. She has like I said, the something about Mary thing going on, where like she don't like shit with her ears.
Yeah.
And she has noise gets her freaked out.
Yeah.
She listened to the Chief Keef song. These bitches love so oh didn't know. And she was doing this like oh shit, like freaking out, and then like but she was saying was I'm practicing trying to get used to the. And when I saw that, I was like respect.
Yeah. Like
respect. I scrolled through the comments, and the very first comment I saw was about somebody perverted about this young girl. Now, even with me being perverted, I can expect somebody saying, "Oh, she's cute. I hit her." I get that. I get that. This was too much.
Okay.
What they put was somebody just being ignorant and too much. And it was like the first thing I said in my mind was, God bless us all. God bless us all if we're in a situation where this girl is trying to be vulnerable and show people how to cope with their disability. And there's people out there talking about like this vile about.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that they said something vile about her. It's the act that you're describing. Like, why do you have to be so descriptive about you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And chances are she didn't see it because it's not on her page.
Right, it was
but
on
it's
like
for
a share
everybody
of a comment
else to see. Like, god damn, like what fucking world do we live in now?
Right.
Trump.
People think, I think, because they're behind a keyboard, that they are completely not responsible for the shit they say. They would never say that to that person's face.
Listen, you know why you wouldn't? It wouldn't even matter. You know why you wouldn't? Because it'd be somebody around me that'd be listening and say, "What the fuck did you just say to her?"
Right.
Exactly.
I'm about to go to jail, but listen, if I would have read the comment, it made me sick to my stomach.
I got you.
If you would have heard somebody say that to that person in person, I'm 100% sure you would have thrown hands.
I would have gone to jail.
Right.
I wouldn't have just thrown hands. I would have been on top of you while you were laying on the ground still working.
Full mouth.
Because
sweating, wiping my sweat as I continue to work.
Because when you are a good person who has a good heart, that level of disrespect produces so much anger.
Let me tell you, you know what kind of person I am. And you know I say ignorant shit out of my mouth. For me not to repeat it.
Right, it's got to be bad. I hear you.
For me not to repeat it.
I know.
It's just, the world is fucked up.
It is. And I mean, so it's interesting that we got down the trip.
That's why I don't baby people. That's exactly why I don't baby people. And something like that, there is no...
I think we just disagree with...
There's no, oops, I made a mistake. Nah, you gonna pay for that. You gonna pay for that,
I think that we just disagree about what babying people means.
That could...
And I think that that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I agree.
And I mean, it's...
You know I'm with you, Sam. You know I'm with you. And even
that's one of the reasons that I'm fine being on this podcast, knowing that we might disagree about things, is that I respect everybody in that room.
Right.
And I feel like I have their respect. So no matter what we say at the end of it, that's still going to be true.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
That's a fact, Jack. I love you.
I mean, Mike hated me his whole childhood, which is fair, because I'm
I
annoying
don't
as
like
fuck.
you too much, but I love you to death.
I'll take that all day.
No, I'm just playing. I say that to my daughter. I say, Karma, I don't like you very much, but I love you. You're my favorite person.
My students all the time will be like, who's your favorite kid? And I'm like, I don't have favorites. I hate you all equally.
Right.
And they'll just be like, what? And I'm like, look, I love every one of you. I'll take a bullet for you in a second, but don't believe that I like you all the time.
Are you here? Nah.
So real quick.
Where do I enroll my child? Listen.
Ooh, I'm not gonna say that on this podcast.
I know
Text me, though, I'll
and
tell you
I almost
that.
set you up. I apologize. I apologize for that.
So real quick,
I'll text you. We are enrolling.
There you
but,
go.
Listen, I might need to.
So real quick, I do want to. It's funny we're having this conversation because you just brought up that line. I would like
What
to
line?
just. You'll
Okay.
understand here in a
Well,
second.
let me pour.
Shout out and pour a little or drink a little one up for my boy Anthony Thompson. He would have been 40 today. But he always had a line that he used to talk about his wife at the time. You say, I love you, but sometimes you get on my goddamn nerves. So when you talking about I don't like you, but I love you, that's the shit that came back to my mind. Right?
I don't like your motherfucking ass, but I love you to death. God damn, man. God damn, Ant. That's crazy. That's my nigga too.
Yeah, he was a good dude. We had a lot of good times. So not to bring that down, it was just you said that and it triggered that memory for me.
Nor would he wanted to, and I don't feel like it did.
I mean, we should go back to R. Kelly and Trapped in the Closet after that.
Listen.
That was his jam.
Nah, he was.
It was before everything came out, Samantha. I know how you feel about Kels.
I'm
Listen,
sorry that
I
I
don't
don't
care
think
how
you
you
should
feel about
continue to help popularize a rapist, but that's just me. What do I know?
I get what you're
understand.
saying, baby. I understand it. But listen,
Y'all know that episode had me heated too, but it's fine.
Listen, did they
I'll be
not?
in my car yelling at y'all like you can hear me. It has been a week since we did the damn podcast.
My
and I'm in
favorite
my
was-
car like, what the fuck are you
My
talking
favorite
about?
was the day that she texted me and said, "You came on the TV or you came on the radio in my car," and I started yelling. And it was like, didn't know why.
What did you come on the radio for?
Because she had her phone hooked up.
I was listening to podcasts and I had the phone automatically hooked up.
And
it just
came
like
the
popped
next
on. I was like, why the fuck is Mike on Sirius XM? And I was like, oh no, my podcast. So
Well, okay. Next topic before
Next topic.
What podcast are you listening to?
I listen to so many podcasts is the thing.
Okay.
I listen to My Brother and Me, Dear Hank and John, Sawbones, Wonderful, like
Comedies,
there's so many.
Comedies. I know all those are probably comedies, huh?
Some of them.
Do you
but
listen to My
I
Favorite
should say
Murder?
it's most of them.
So Mike, now I am like a I don't even want to put it that way, but I'm going to because I already started it. I'm like a Make-A-Wish child. I want something.
What do you want, Cliff?
What's Cameo? It Cameo, right? Where all the
Is
people
the celebrity
on there?
app? Yeah.
Yeah.
I need you to find something for Bert Kreischer.
Dude, did you know Christian Harloff
Who's that?
from the Schmodown was on Bert
I
Kreischer's
did. I
show
saw
this
that.
week?
I saw that. I thought of you when I saw that. I thought, listen, no,
Him and
it doesn't
Bert are
matter.
boys. They both went to Florida State together.
Hey, listen, I listen to everyone. I listen to the Bertcast. I listen to Bill Burt. I listen to what's the other one? Two Bears, One Cave, and it's about to be Two Bears, One Sack.
Okay.
Warren Sapp's coming every Monday for football. Cool. Listen.
If I listened to a podcast called Two Bears, One Cave, I think it would be very different than the podcast.
That's why they named it that, though. They were trying to be funny, like, because
are a lot of these sports podcasts, because I've never heard of most of them.
I'm the same.
They're best friends.
I don't do sports.
Well, that's not a sports podcast. That's a comedy podcast.
Yeah, it's
okay.
That's Bert too, right?
Yeah, that's Bert and Tom Segura.
Yeah,
Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura.
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming to the he's coming here.
Who is Kreischer?
I wanted to ask you if you wanted to go. He does the Bill. I keep saying Bill. Bert Kreischer is doing the drive-in tour.
Okay.
So on High Street, he'll be here August 13th. And
yeah,
I think it's per car. It's not per person.
Okay.
So you can come with like however many's in your car.
Right.
And it's like
and guess what? The new ride has 3 rows of seat.
Oh shit! Free ride.
Listen.
It's got let's see. It's got 7 seats.
Listen, that's all I'm saying. But if he's on Cameo, I will pay $2,500 myself on everything, and I know my baby mom would be so mad. My daughter would too. Because her birthday's coming up.
That's a Thursday night. That helps.
But I feel like this would bring back so much in return. So fuck y'all.
Reap the benefits.
Fuck my daughter's birthday and what you're asking for. We could get so much more if you just let me cook. So just let me cook. Carmen's gonna let me cook.
Yep.
You, girl, let me cook. Just
help
if
me
we
out.
could get 15 minutes.
Well, that's all they do those Zoom calls for. So I'll look it up.
If he would be willing to do our podcast for 15 minutes. For my whole second stimulus check.
I feel like we're never gonna get that check.
Maybe.
I don't either. I don't think so either.
I think he's gonna hold on to it to build another wall around the White House.
I just have to talk to my guy. I just have to talk to him. He's my favorite. He's my favorite comedian right now.
Okay.
Fuck a Dave Chappelle. Fuck.
Don't get me wrong. Bert is probably gettable because he's only had like one Comedy Central special. He's had 2 Netflix
that's
ones.
because he's down to earth, though.
I understand. I'm just saying he's probably easier to get than Dave.
Dave's from Cleveland, though, right?
Hamilton.
How much
He's
do I
from
need? He's
Cincinnati.
around
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
I need.
area.
Listen, I want.
It
I
is
I just
COVID.
want to talk to
Don't
him.
look that motherfucker up.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
Skype 15
His
minutes.
the bit that he's known for, the machine, is one of my favorite comedy bits of all time.
Are you serious? That's what I say. He's in my top 5. I don't give a fuck what nobody says right now.
But he is also definitely a bro comedian.
That's why I was like, I don't think he probably does comedy.
I don't think I'm a bro.
He is.
Which is fine.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I can relate to bros. Definitely not.
No,
bro.
I understand what you're saying, but
I get what
I'm just saying.
I mean, I was a athlete, so you kind of gotta be a little bit of a bro to be an athlete, especially if you're Hannah.
True. I mean, any kind of suburban school. Yeah. All right, so just real quick, chiming in with the chat, Ashley with. I think this was talking about feelings and those kind of things. How about take a deep breath and use your words? I want to help you in terms of when a kid cries in school. All feelings are normal,
school,
and we have
shut
to
your ass up, or I'll whoop your ass in here. Don't make me pull you in this hallway right now. Don't make me pull it.
All feelings are normal, and we have to learn how to manage.
Okay, City
I'm
High.
playing, but I've heard it a few times. I'm
Michelle
just saying
Pfeiffer.
That. Who told me that? I'm not gonna name.
I
names.
love my children so much, but when they're actually upset, I'll be gentle. But when they're in a good mood,
Do you remember
joking, I'm
that
an
one
asshole.
time? I'm not even gonna speak on it, but I know you remember it. We'll continue.
All right. Caleb chiming in with 2 bears, 1 cave is amazing. Caleb was the dude that played D&D with us the couple weeks ago.
My G, yeah.
And then he said, I need one of those
seats. He was at your wedding, too.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
I need
That's
one
my
of those
G.
Samantha's
My
sister's husband, right?
Yeah, we talked.
Brother-in-law.
That is
Samantha's
exact.
brother-in-law.
Okay, now I'm connecting everything.
And Caleb also asking for one of those seats if we're going to see Christ.
Man, listen, 100.
I mean, we can fit 2 couples.
Well, you know,
or
I'm
Cliff
couple
going running
less.
solo.
And we can do
Cliff,
it.
you can have the back row.
Right. Listen.
Caleb and Tracy can have the middle row. Shar and I can be up front. It's fine.
Well, I probably won't even be in the car, okay?
You still go find it.
I'm going to be throwing football. No, I'm just I'll keep my mask on.
Mask
Oh,
up.
man.
Mask
Nah,
up.
I'm just playing.
But yeah, so that was just hitting the chat real quick. I'm going to go use the restroom. Y'all keep the conversation going.
Of course we will.
Look.
Where were we before the chat happened?
I mean,
I want to hear, you've alluded to it a few times. What happened with this road rage situation? Were you chased down by someone?
So
You can explain.
If you are
G.
comfortable sharing, you don't have to, obviously.
so I live in Marion, Ohio. It's like
You
an
don't-
hour.
Have to explain, but
It's like an hour away from Hilliard.
Yeah.
So there have been a few.
wait. Just for my own,
Right.
is it an hour west?
North. Straight north. Like straight.
So to get to Hilliard, you go south.
Yeah, I go
directly
south.
south.
Kind of like southwest,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, never eat.
You know where I'm at.
Never eat shredded wheat.
Oh,
so
see-
it's. That's how I remember this shit, bro. Don't fucking judge.
I use Google for
It's
It's
everything.
the
Don't ask
fucking,
me.
it's
Fuck.
the fucking compass, bro. So you're gonna go eat.
Is it west?
Eat
Is it
north.
more- I
you're
hate
gonna,
the west side.
You're gonna go north eat.
Do you know that
Yeah, north.
I might be saying too much by even saying it, but going out to what you just said, Hilliard,
Right.
first time I ever did it was where we're at right now. Never had ever been there before ever in life. Never went that
I
far
have.
west ever
Yeah.
in
I
life.
went so much in my childhood because that's the city. When you're in London and need to go to
No,
the movie
I don't-
theater and
that's-
go to
Right,
that's
right.
the-
restaurants,
that's
you go to
problems
Hilliard.
Where I'm from. You don't
Well, and
drive
I get that.
around there.
Well, and that's why I've seen so many black people pulled over getting on the freeway going home from the office
Man, listen,
place.
You'd see,
Yeah.
Dude,
you'd see me
two
on a
cops-
t-shirt.
two
if
cops,
they pulled me over out there
two-
going home,
Cliff, two cops
if you're
on
stopping
one
me from
car.
going home, my adrenaline doesn't kick in. There's no fear involved. If you don't
I ain't
take my
blind.
license, write me a ticket, and get the fuck out of my face, shoot me now, because I'm about to hop out this bitch and
I'm
we're gonna
serious.
have a problem.
I've seen it so many times. At least
I'm going
real.
home. Leave me alone.
Too many. In that.
I mean, how about I've been pulled over twice in front of my own fucking house.
I've seen
That's
it. I've
because
seen it.
where you live.
Yeah,
I understand.
Hey.
But my favorite was my housewarming party. I literally have catering in the car
Your
with
housewarming
me.
party, was I here for that?
I think so. Yes, because it was my work
We
friends.
were living here, weren't we?
It was
Or was
yeah.
it before I moved in?
No, I think it was work friends and everything here.
He said, "I don't."
I
Because
think
you remember
so.
I was in the
That's
apartment
all
too.
Right,
That
you
was
were
when
up
Carmen
on,
was born, and then I moved in here like after she was like 6 months.
I think you were here because it was one of the first times like work friends, football friends, and
I think
home
I may
friends
have
all kind of came
I
together.
think I may.
I got
remember
pulled
something
over
like
in front of my own house with catering sitting in the car, like barbecue shit. Them's telling me, "What
Welcome
are you
to
doing?
the
What are you
hood.
doing?" Right,
Housewarming. That was your gift, motherfucker.
Right, no doubt.
White
No
man
doubt.
moving in the hood. That was your gift. Let me stop you before you go through with this.
Before
Right.
you think about it.
Right. Well, and I think that might be part
Nah,
of
but
the
I think this is
racial
excellent, though.
profile.
I think this is an excellent house. I wouldn't be
Agreed.
upset about
No.
raising my son here,
Nah.
especially because his mom's a teacher and right around the way. I feel like this is don't get me wrong, because I know, weren't y'all thinking about moving?
We are, but
I don't see that's
we've
a
decided
problem.
we've decided that until we have two,
Something for sure.
that
Okay.
it's more cost effective to stay here.
here.
Now, I will tell you that today was a bad day on the trying to get to two front.
Well, it's okay.
We had a bad IVF phone call. which
No,
was not
but
good.
well,
Did
that
not
doesn't
work
mean.
out.
Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. It is your job to relay this to.
I hear you. Because you're not
Or-
allowed to talk to her about it anymore.
Right, I know.
Yep.
Or
That's
Oh,
why
no.
we were on probation for 3 months.
listen,
She's at that
but let
point,
me
man.
be,
She's
let,
at
but
You're
let
not
me
wrong.
be 100. But let
I
me
love
be
you.
100, and I hope.
I'm just saying that's why we were on probation for 3 months.
And I
We
hope-
could have started this podcast in November.
I hope
And we didn't
that-
start it till January.
I hope that
No.
you're watching, love.
He's
And know that you know where we're at. I love you more than
Yes.
anything.
All
You will
true.
be given everything that God has for you.
That's true.
But what I will say is, you have a treasure currently,
Yeah.
at least in
Oh,
my
man.
opinion.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No, I agree
There's
with
a
you.
current treasure,
Yeah.
and you never know the devil.
Number 2 would be a demon
Whoa.
baby after we got so lucky.
Oh, I'm not
with
even
the
talking
first
about that. I'm hoping
I
for
see where
that.
Cliff's going.
Oh, I'm hoping and praying for that. That's something I am praying for, and I'm hoping it's a girl.
Right.
Just like
Cliff,
Char. That's
do you
why
really
Char
believe
wants
he
too,
deserves
huh?
to be the-
No, she actually after
She wants another boy?
she cried when she found out that Andrew was going to be a boy.
She wants another boy.
She wants a boy again.
Listen, misogyny or not, Sam, I love you. Boys are the best.
Look, I
Girls-
don't want any fucking kids.
girls,
so
honestly-
kids
Same,
are girls,
honestly-
boys are non-binary. I'd rather not.
Well, listen, in your
Our
current
path.
situation, you got a lot to worry about other than yourself. You better make sure everybody's on their P's and Q's. and
I
taking
mean,
their
No
prescriptions.
one in my relationship has the ability to get another human
Okay,
pregnant.
there we go.
So we're not worried about it.
There we go. That's all I was. Okay, that's what I'm. Okay,
He said.
okay. But
that actually does bring up a question for me. And
girls are like tumors, is what I was saying.
They can be, as men can be too.
I don't know what I
was waiting for your response.
Suitcase.
I was waiting for your response before I continue.
Mhm.
Only reason why I say that is because a girl, until she turns 18, is stuck to your side. Doesn't matter if you don't live together.
Right.
As soon as she gets there, she's here. You can't get her out from under your this. A boy, you just have it, you just spit it out, and it just runs around, and you say, "Stop! Don't get move! Stop! Go to
That's
sleep!
fair.
Shut up!
That's not far off.
Right.
A girl
I was
is like,
definitely
a girl's
my
like,
parents.
hey, can I lay in the? Don't forget
Right.
me.
Yep. I was absolutely.
And
oh,
you're like,
watching
what are
TV,
you?
I'm
You're
just gonna use
16.
like a
Go
pillow.
sit in your room. You're fucking 16 years old. Go lay down.
Right.
The fuck is wrong with you?
So I have a question, and this came up. I don't know. It was 6 months ago. So you're in a polyamorous relationship.
Well,
Yes.
did you say that? Because you're a snitch. Takashi.
No, I thought.
No, I said it already.
Oh,
You
okay,
already said it.
okay. I'm sorry.
about
I'm
it.
sorry, then, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I thought you was Takashi.
But that's
Yeah.
also why she's on, is to kind of have these types of conversations.
Well,
So-
of course, but I didn't want to, you know.
So you're in a poly relationship.
Yes.
I know it is with I believe co-identifies as non-binary. Is that correct?
Correct.
So co-identifies as non-binary. And Becca identifies as a female, I believe.
Yes.
So here's my question. I think that there was a fourth added, and that it was via co mostly. Does that mean
Yes.
all four of you are in a relationship now, or is it?
No.
So that's my
The person
question.
you're talking about, who I have not gotten permission to talk about them on here, so
Okay,
I'm not
that's
going to
fine.
give
Right.
details
Completely
about
understand. That's why I didn't say a
but-
name, right? I kept that name.
them. Yeah, no, you
Okay.
did not.
All right.
They are Co's partner,
Okay.
and they live in our house, but they are not my partner, and they're not Becca's partner.
Oh,
Okay.
it can work like that?
Becca, Co, and I are a triangle, and then we have tangents,
Right.
kind of
Now
depending on
listen.
the ebb and flow of our lives. We have our own little tangential
listen.
It's
situation.
kind of like committed dating,
Now
is my
listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot of people refer to it as
Right. Now this is very interesting.
consensual non-monogamy.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and this is very interesting, and this is not me. I'm not. Now you know I got jokes, but this is not me joking.
No, you're fine. Ask away. I'm ready.
I feel like that would be, and it might not even be a question. This just may be me saying,
Say it. Just
This
say
could be
it.
where Cliff
say
understands
it.
and gets into it.
I want to see you
right?
be
Like
brave.
like
But the way
okay,
you
like
call
okay. I'm willing. Like okay, I'm willing to indulge, but starting out only with you and you. Is that how that works?
So it is. Here's I think the hard part for polyamory for a lot of people is every single relationship is going to be different.
Different.
Right.
So
There's no
different
set
people have
rules.
different boundaries and different ideas. For us, it started with Co and Becca, a married couple.
Right.
I was their friend, and we decided, got a little closer to have some fun, and that turned into a fully formed triad
Right.
situation. And then we had to discuss if we were going to be polyamorous outside of that as well,
And now,
and set our own boundaries and things like that.
right. And now the fourth is the one that isn't comfortable yet with talking or anything like that. Understandably.
Well, they might be. I have no idea. We have not talked
They-
about it.
And I respect that even more.
She is
because-
not in
Yeah.
a relationship with that person.
Exactly.
Correct.
Okay, I'm understanding.
And like they're my friend. I enjoy hanging out with them and spending time with
Right.
them. I just have no romantic feelings.
But that's how I feel like every relationship not should, because let's be honest, most of my favorite relationships came from me liking something about you.
Right.
Mostly the way you look. You know what I mean? That was
That's
the
how
thing
many
that
relationships.
That was the jump
That was
off
the thing
point,
that made me
right.
say, hey, excuse me, can I talk to you? You know what I mean? Like something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that.
And they didn't shut you down immediately.
Well, that's
Yeah.
an amazing feeling.
Oh, I get shut down a
Miracles
lot.
do
I
happen.
get shut down a lot, but
Same.
well,
Well,
let's be
I'll take
honest.
it. I'll take it.
Let's be honest.
It's polite.
If I think there's a possibility that I might
Right.
get shut down. My first instinct isn't, hey. It's
Right.
excuse me.
Pardon me.
I've
You know what I mean?
seen
Right,
this
right,
happen.
right.
Yes,
You
I
do
agree.
have to change your approach depending on the vibe. That's very real.
Right. Hey is when that's the
Holla
last.
at you. Holla.
Exactly.
That's
That's
the
the last
cat.
option. I'm trying to catch you before you leave
Right,
here.
right.
Hey,
Right,
before
right.
you go.
Right.
But me, I'm more like, let me come around
The
the corner and
back
say,
corner.
excuse me, sweetheart, I've been
Yes, yep.
looking at you. Did you see me looking at you?
Right.
I'm sorry if it came
I
off
paid for
weird,
that tab
but
inside.
my name is Cliff. You said I paid for
I
that
paid
tab.
for that tab. That was me. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Should I try that?
Oh, man,
Should
it
I
works
add that
every
to my
time.
I mean, if you've got
It
money
picked
like
me
that,
up.
it doesn't
It
hurt.
picked
Or
me
as
up.
long as I
Sure.
know she didn't pay for her tab.
Right. Look.
Somebody
it picked
paid
me
for
up.
it. Listen, I paid for
Uh-huh.
your
I
tab,
paid for your
sweetheart.
tab.
I'm sorry. I just
Right.
wanted a
I
minute
just
of your
wanted to
time.
have. You just wanted to have a great night with your girlfriends. I helped you out with that, and then you put your number on the receipt. And
But
when she
how
having
many,
her
like,
Denny's
see-
in the morning, she gonna remember
Send the Denny's
this
in the
motherfucker
morning.
saved me $60. I had some girl do that to me before.
Did you?
It was
See,
fucking
I'm poor,
great.
so I'm just
Man.
like, ooh,
I was all
can't.
about
That's
it.
not how I'm getting with you.
Right. I'd be like, hey, here's my number. Call me in a week.
I mean, I will tell you that I went broke courting Shar, so
Well, let me tell
Get
you.
it?
I was not making money like that back
No,
then.
man. That's a great
You was
time.
making good money, though.
He's
No,
amazing.
not when I
He's
first started
really
courting
good.
Shar.
Listen,
No, I'm not talking about when you and I lived together. I'm talking
Okay.
about when I was still in school.
There
Okay.
you go.
And
Okay.
I dropped
Okay. Yeah, you did say that. You
I
did
dropped
say
a
that.
significant amount of money for
Paying
her
all
at
that.
her birthday dinner at some bar with a fucking aquarium in
Listen,
DC.
let me tell you something. Let me
Jake
tell
and
you
Jody,
something.
you know what I'm talking
Let-
about.
listen. Let me tell you something. Give me some more subscribers.
Right.
I am almost about to start
Right.
naming motherfuckers
Names.
and who they chose to get with.
Jerry Springer,
But
a.k.a. Cliff.
if I'm sure, and I feel like the stars are aligned right now, and for some reason the North Star is right here, and the Star of Aquarius.
By the way, we don't have a
Wait.
skylight in here. Cliff's
No, we
just
don't.
pointing at the ceiling.
Yeah, and the Star of Aquarius is directly below that northern boy. So I know for a fact that you possibly may be watching. You hear that? I know for a fact that you possibly
60% of the time, it works
maybe you
every
may be
time.
watching. But the only reason why I say that is because you know who I am and you have my Facebook and you see that the only thing I post is these fucking podcasts.
That's true.
Speaking of which, I think I may go dark.
Well, that's fine as long as I can still tag you. You cannot be on there and I can still tag you.
Okay,
That's
is that
fine.
that works?
That's fine.
Okay, so I'll leave it up for that. But I'm thinking I'm cutting out all social media and all that for a minute.
I mean, it's all good now that the live stream actually publishes on Facebook. So
You know what? I think
I
I
don't have to
may.
get
I
people
think I
over to
may do a
YouTube.
detox. I think I may stop everything for a week.
I mean, go for it.
Just 1 week. I won't look at World Star. I won't look at my phone other
You'd
than
probably
work.
be happier.
I think I would. That's what I'm
There are
saying.
some apps you can get that will like literally not let you open shit for a certain
Well, no,
period
no,
of
no,
time.
I don't want that.
There might be some shit that he's got to figure.
No, that would just, and I'm being honest here, and this is me being overly aggressive, that would just give me someone I would want to kill that I can't get a hold of.
That's you wouldn't like having the lack of control. That's
Right,
fair.
like you can control this and I can't get a hold of you to take you out if you don't let it go. That would drive me insane if
I know you don't want me interrupting because of the chat, but Uncle Dan just hit us with, this podcast is ADHD online.
Look, when you're right, you're right.
And
I
he's
can't-
not wrong.
Uncle Dan
I have not
with
been
full-
diagnosed.
We're
but I'm
gonna
pretty sure
tap
it's real.
that one up. Full degree.
Man, Uncle Dan.
Every
Spot
conversation
on.
with me is a hopscotch. You know? One thing makes me think of something over here.
I know. I've played Dungeons and Dragons with you.
You do know, yeah.
Hey, speaking of, are we in on Sunday?
So.
Oh shit.
Why'd you have to bust us like that? I love Sam. I'm not trying to have 12 people in our game, so
I'm not trying to join another D&D game. Once a week is good for me.
so that's good because I did invite Caleb and Tracy because they're always up for another game.
Yeah,
So
they'll play
And
for
I
12
invite-
hours at a time.
Right.
I have 3 partners and 3 dogs, and like we just don't have that kind of time for
So
shit.
buy your dogs some fucking dice and get them some opposable gloves, and let's run this bitch solid. Bring them all. Bring the 4. Bring the polys. Bring the dogs.
What I will
bring
say
everyone.
is I invited Cliff. I think he's game for Sunday. We're trying to see if your brother's in because he was interested. I'm trying to get my brother to join on Sunday.
I would love to have you.
So we'll see.
I'm trying to get my little
You cannot
brother.
have too many people in a campaign, so
Right.
I won't.
I don't want to go more
Oh,
than
I
like
thought it
5
was
or
a single shot. Is it a single shot?
It
or
is. It is a one shot, but
Okay.
so Sunday will be a one shot, but it's still hard to have more than like 4 or 5 people.
I'm
in the
with
game.
the campaign too.
Dan tries to deal with all of us.
We
and
are
it's rough.
going to get a. We will
On
get
him, I
a
imagine.
campaign going.
That
I'm just
throughout
waiting
the week
for.
is kind of tough unless we stop it by 9. I can't go beyond.
So we'll have to. Talk
Maybe
about that.
9:30.
That's where I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like,
if
maybe
we
7
let
to
them, our
10 or
D&D
7 to
games would
9:30.
last all day. Me and Becca are like, it's
I
time
know-
to go.
Exactly.
We have to
and
go.
I'll let it go. I'll let
we
it
have
continue.
shit to do.
I'm the
Bye.
type that'll be a work night and I'll be like, it's 1 o'clock. We'll get that last roll. Let's see how many hits we get.
That's why, like, for me, from a scheduling perspective, it depends on what football's doing. If football is canceled, I'm fine. I would love to do a game either during the week or
Well,
on.
you know I am. I like to be alone. So after I clock out at 4, I gotta have at least, honestly, 2 to 3 hours myself.
Well, and that's where I'm saying, like, could we do like
Before
a 7?
I'm ready to.
Could we do a 7 to
tackle the
10
next
during?
day.
Could we do a 7 to 10 during the week?
I'll go in the next day ready to quit if I don't get enough sleep.
I hear
No,
Like
I
literally
absolutely
saying
understand
in my
that.
you.
head,
Completely agree.
literally saying in my head, let somebody give me a reason to flip
I
out.
wish a motherfucker would.
And I will say,
Honestly though, give me a reason to flip and I quit.
because we stopped school like March 13th was that last day of school for us.
Right.
Before we did distance learning. When I started going back in the building to help paint and get things ready, I was exhausted by other humans.
sure.
There's only like 3 other people in the building.
bet.
But I was like, oh, I hate everyone.
Listen,
Don't
that's why
talk to me. Don't look at
Mike
me.
told me the thing,
Ooh.
and I told you, I know we spoke before the thing started, and I said, God bless you. Listen, and excuse me, God, for my language, but God fucking bless you for dealing with your children, teaching, and then going home to your home life. I could not, God could only be a woman. You understand
Well,
what I'm saying?
because I love my partners and
And
like
God, I'm
being
sorry
with them,
for the curse.
it's different. But I will say that like they get it. If I come home and I'm like, today was a lot. I had to deal
That's
with
me every day.
a lot. I need to be alone for a little
Right.
bit.
Unless I'm
They're
with my
totally
daughter.
understanding and supportive of my need to do that. And I could not be in that relationship if they were not.
My
If I was with
daughter
somebody
and
who's
my
like,
nephews.
but I haven't seen you all day. I'm most important.
Children,
I
huh?
couldn't do it.
I
But the
just-
fact that they're like, no, we get it, babe. Take your time. We'll do what we need to
I
do.
just came
It,
to that
it helps me
realization.
survive.
Children are the only exception to my rule. I'll get with
Yeah.
children. My daughter, my nephews, and whatever. I don't. And my niece, I don't really see her enough, but she's still young.
Yeah.
But those are the only ones. Everyone else, and even those, and that's why I say, it's funny. I'm glad we have this conversation because now that I think about it, I understand what you say and what you mean by misogyny, and I understand what I think about misogyny. And trust and believe, I don't try to raise my youngins that way, but I do raise them to that harder
Mentality.
exactly, Whether you're a boy or a girl. What you have to understand is Amber, or Face, as you know, that was my sparring partner.
Yeah.
She was 2 years younger than me and 20 pounds less.
Yep.
She got fucked up for a while. And in that same time, I was my dad's fighter's sparring partner.
Is it bad that Coop in All-American...
Which one is Coop? Is that the quarterback?
No, Coop. Spencer James' friend from Crenshaw.
Who's Spencer James?
The main character.
So, okay, let me tell you something. Now, I gave you All-American and only watched a little bit.
She may not even be in the second season for all I know.
Okay, so I only watched the second season.
Oh, I thought you said you went back and watched the first. Okay.
Did not do that.
Well, I have a feeling she may not make it out of the first season, so maybe that's why.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've only seen the second season.
So I'll refrain. We can get back to the topic.
Okay, let's do that. Because you're kind of making me feel like, should I watch the first season? But I'm not that interested to do so.
See, I had somebody from work tell me they watched it straight through and they knew I would like it. But you said you started with the second season. So
people were trying to get me to. Well, listen, this is where you're gonna get mad at me, Sam.
I'm ready.
Listen. This is why I'm always gonna be honest. It was a girl that told me to watch it.
Okay.
So this is why I said you're gonna be mad, because immediately when she said that, my first thought was soap opera. It's a soap opera.
Right.
And I watched it and I said, soap opera.
Right.
It's a soap opera.
But so is the
but
WWE.
There was still, and then once I got old enough, I was like, yeah, no. Listen, you know what's funny, Mike?
I can't say shit to you because can I tell you what my dumbass has been watching? The most basic bullshit in quarantine as escapism.
Do you know
Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
I feel you.
You know
it's
what?
not a good show, but it's so dramatic that it pulls you out of the world being on
right. I wouldn't say that it's not a good show.
I mean, there's some good actors, but I don't think it's a great show.
Uh-oh. What have you been watching, Miss Cliff?
International House Hunters.
That show is fantastic.
Are you fucking serious, Sam? My favorite
the people on it are such assholes, and I love yelling at them. They'll be like, I hate the color of the paint.
Right.
Like, paint the house, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
This doesn't have a shower or a bathtub. Bitch, you get... There's no showers in Italy.
Is this the white people? Is this the white people looking for a house type show?
No,
where
it's black folks too. I'm
a graphic designer and I'm a teacher, and our budget is $1.2 million.
Did you see the one about Sam? Did you see the one about the black chick that moved from I can't remember where, like Chicago, New York to Italy, and she was moving by herself. Like, I hope I just meet new people when I was just thinking to myself like. Do you know where you're fucking moving to, bitch?
Does she speak
No
Italian?
one's gonna want to speak to you. No one's gonna want to see you or speak to you. You're black and you don't speak Italian. No one's gonna want to speak to you.
Goodness.
You're dumb.
Me up when they'll go to like other countries that they obviously did no research about the culture.
Listen.
And they'll just be like, "Where's my giant fridge?" It's like other countries don't have giant fridges.
You're right.
You can't.
Why do I only have 2 feet of counter space? Well, because the kitchen's only this wide.
Right.
Why? No. The best is, why is the shower right above the toilet? You ever seen that one? Where like,
yes.
Well, in Europe, it's common for you to be able to
take a shit.
Yeah, you just sit there and go.
I actually think that's a great idea. But I'd probably take more showers that way, especially during quarantine.
Listen, let me tell you something. I'm not going to bring this into cultural.
Mike, are you one of the white people who like don't wash their legs?
Wait, what?
There's like a whole internet thing a little while ago.
I heard about that.
White people who don't use washcloths and don't wash their legs, which I didn't know was a thing.
I use a loofah and I wash my legs every time. I will tell you during quarantine.
I used to live with my G. So
I will tell you during quarantine, it's like every third day that I'll shower. Like, I'm not gonna lie about that.
I mean, you're not going anywhere. So
Right.
You know
fair
what?
enough.
It's
Fuck does it
actually
matter?
been the opposite for me.
Have you showered more?
I have to shower every lunch break at work.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if I shower before.
Is that just to take a break though, and just
that
kind
might
of reset?
be. Yeah, just to relax.
Yeah,
like
see-
I'll put him like Lauryn Hill in
I hear
the
you.
bathroom and just like lay there and sit there for
Show
a
me
minute.
my pain with his fingers.
All that.
One time.
Listen, all that, and I'll just sit there in the warm shower and just think, how am I gonna make it through these last 2.5 hours without quitting or looking up someone's address?
One to kill a motherfucker.
People are very stupid. It's hard sometimes.
People are dumb.
I made it this far. No felonies, no issues, so I'm sure I'll make it further. If not, watch how you fuck with me.
Right.
Handle with care.
Get it done.
That's all I have to say. Because I haven't broke no laws, so there's no reason to be looking at me crazy. Handle me with fucking care, or don't handle me at all. That's it.
I'm with you.
Killing me softly.
I know, right?
So, killing me softly. Where's Jake at? What the fuck, State Farm? Insurance. You're not
It does make me wonder if my wife came home and is like, who is this
Right,
person?
where the fuck is Jake at? And Jake,
Did you
listen,
not tell her
Jake is
that
the
a guest was
smoothest-
coming to your house?
Jake
I
is
mean,
the
it
smoothest
happens.
motherfucker you meet. To. Jake might say, "What? I just been here cooling. I've been upstairs doing the podcast, and they're just been. I'm cooling out. I'm telling you, his vibrations are high. Everybody's like, Jake's cool. I didn't even know Jake was trans when I started there. I was just like, that's the coolest dude I know.
Yeah.
Period. And somebody was like, he's trans, and I was like, so.
Good
Correct
for you.
response. Good job.
Fools agree.
I don't even.
It's weird as fuck that somebody like outed him.
I don't even
mean,
know. I don't
fine,
even
he's
know if
obviously
they.
open about
Well, they
it, but
probably. Let's be honest. They probably did mean it like that. But I don't know if that I took it that they meant it like that. But I did feel like, well, why are you like why do you need to point that out to me?
Right.
yeah.
But what I will say is, and this is whether we're close to the end of the show.
I mean, we're at 2 hours, so we're probably close.
What I will say is,
Which means we're bumping Xbox one more week, but that's okay.
and we can do that because I feel like
this has been a good conversation, Sam. If Jake were here, I'd say thank you to Jake too. But
he'll be back up shortly. I know what he's doing.
I'm sure.
I mean,
I
Yeah.
just won't out him. I would probably be doing it myself if I wasn't obligated. I'm just
You
playing.
can't leave. Just
Fire me if
here.
you want to. What was I saying though? What was
I don't
saying?
know.
What were we talking?
You're talking about outing somebody.
About
or Jake-
somebody at work telling you that he was trans as soon
Oh
as
yeah,
you
no,
said
I
something
feel
about
like
him.
we were beyond that though. I feel like I was about to say
So
something.
while you're trying to remember, Uncle Dan chiming in with it. Hey, some of my best friends and 70 years old father did felonies.
Oh, I do want to say this. This is the
Oh
only
yeah,
thing
felony
that-
grandpa, baby.
Grandpa stabbed the motherfucker.
In the leg. He didn't give a single fuck.
Listen, where I come from, stabbing a motherfucker ain't that serious.
I mean, it wasn't for him either. He was under house arrest, but my grandma didn't know how to drive, so he took her everywhere. So he wasn't really under house arrest. He went to the store. He went to church. Like,
Where I come from, a lot of us been stabbed and we don't tell. We just like, oh, they got it. So we'll get them next time. It's like a football
Stitching it
game.
up.
Right? It's like a football game. We'll get them next time. We'll catch them next time we come around. But listen, this is what I will say. This is the only thing I will say. I would prefer my G to. I'll wait.
So, with you waiting, then, Sam, I know
Yeah.
you've had some. I don't want to say well, maybe it is disagreements with things that we've said. Have you had the chance to bring them up and have us respond to them on the show tonight, or is there something that's still kind of in the back of your mind around either something that we've
That's a
said
good
or
question.
something that you want
That's
to
a good
share
question.
I don't
that
think
you
so.
think we
The
should know?
thing that made me prompt to text you in the first place, I remember clearly, was you had a guest talking about learning about Stonewall and the Stonewall riots, and Marsha P. Johnson, who was an amazing trans woman of color who started the Stonewall riots and like helped keep them
Okay,
going the whole
I know
time.
what she's talking about.
And Cliff was just trying to kind of double check with what trans woman meant. Like, okay,
right.
ask about the transition. And what was said was, and the reason I was not upset at all is because it was obviously not done in aggression or ill will or anything.
And I hope that you understand anytime I don't mean any disrespect.
I knew there was nothing like transphobic about it. It was just a misuse of terms. The person said they were a man and then they were a woman. But that isn't really true to the trans experience from what I understand as, a cis person. I'm not trans.
Okay.
But most trans people that I know at least would argue that Marsha P. Johnson was a woman her entire life. She was just assigned male at birth based on her biological sex.
All right, bro. Come on.
Which is not the same.
What the fuck? You a part of this,
motherfucker? Foot.
So, like, I was simply saying that, like, the term you would use is assigned female at birth or assigned male at birth.
Okay.
Because that person, if they are saying, like, I am a woman, has been a woman forever, or I am a man, was a man the whole time, they just were assigned a different gender when they were born based upon their biological sex.
I got you.
No, I get that 100%.
And I think that was what started
the
whole
initial
me
one.
texting Mike.
And that,
like, hey,
I know exactly. I know. I remember exactly.
Well, and I mean, I read it directly to you, like after the show or whatever.
I remember the exact situation. That's what made me say.
Have her come on.
Listen, I have no problem with anything like that. But what I
I wouldn't have texted it if I thought you would have been like, man, fuck this bitch. But I just was like, oh, they probably have no idea what
that's what I said first.
You said...
And then Mike was like, cool out, kid. Cool out.
This is my cousin.
I'm just playing. But what I will say, and I wanted to wait for you to get back, is because that I will say this. The only issue that I have, and it's not solely with transgendered, but a lot of times it falls under that regard because what's it called? Not like technology, but shit's getting better. You feel what I'm saying? It's getting easier to do things.
Yeah.
Humanity. Humanity is evolving.
I mean, I guess you could say that. But what I will say is I feel like, and this is getting into another conversation, but I feel like it is good to let someone know where and who you are in a situation.
Well, I think that's appropriate in any
you would think
sexual
that because
or dating situation.
You would think of that because of who you are.
No, I
because
think
the type of person you are. But what I'm saying is there are a lot of people out here that think that because they have switched and done that they should not or do not have and you don't have an obligation to. All I'm saying is don't be surprised if you end up in a violent situation.
Well, and I would say that's almost
because
always...
I'm being 100% honest, and this is once again where I say I'm going to put myself on that...
Blast.
You know what I mean? On that, what do they call it? The pirate shit where they made you walk the plank. I'll put myself on that plank.
Okay.
If I was taken back and someone slept with me sexually and then shocked me with saying, well, I was actually a man and changed to a woman, I don't know what my reaction would be. Well, I honestly don't know if I would throw punches. I don't know what my reaction would be. So when I see shit like that happen and people say, well, this person was killed, I don't instantly jump to all poor transgendered.
Okay, so I have a question.
That's just me being honest.
No, and I appreciate
and
your
brutally
honesty.
honest.
Okay, so here's my question to rebut that.
Of course, that's what you're here for.
I use the restroom at the office.
Right.
As a male.
And if anybody ever bothers you, you already know it'd be a problem.
Well, no, just... And beforehand, I identified as a lesbian, and lesbians are highly accepted in the heterosexual male community. And so if you compare,
it's a perspective, but I understand what you're saying.
so if I look back at, if I come out,
That may be cultural too now.
well, it's not a cultural thing. It's misogynist, and I get it, and I understand it. Doesn't make it right, but I understand the science. So if I was a female born with boobs and a vagina, and I was either A, attracted to women and wanted to pursue that lifestyle without having a male intercourse relationship, and or a person born in that body and wanted to identify as a man,
Right.
but didn't necessarily connect with men in general.
Right. I'm following.
So there's that acceptable, right? Here's that group of people. That's okay. Right? You don't ever see on the news some trans guy was caught in the Target bathroom peeing in a stall with other men, because it's not a fucking problem.
Right.
Fair point.
Right.
But if it's a man that's transitioning to a woman, or a gay man, or a flamboyant man, or a man that's maybe checking you out and you don't agree with it.
Right. I'm glad you brought this up too.
How many women in college go to a nightclub and have men check them out unwantingly?
Well, see, no, listen, and you're 100% correct, but
It's
this
the
is
same
the difference.
concept.
This is no, it's not. It's not at all the same concept.
Okay.
Because the difference is, a man could fuck you up. That woman isn't gonna fuck you up. She can probably smack you. She could probably swing at you with a fist with all her might. It's not gonna bother you. But if a man does it, that
Right.
could take your life.
So what?
I see Samantha about ready to chime in.
And I'm not. And I'm listen, Samantha.
There are abusive females.
I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not. Once again, I'm not saying that that's right. All I'm saying is, and all I was saying is, if we're dealing with transgendered,
Right.
and we're talking about being with someone else, and you're not openly letting me know that you're transgendered, I don't know what my reaction would be. I don't know what my reaction would be if someone was like, well, I used to be a guy after we just had sex.
That's why you have to be upfront.
That's just me
with
being
shit.
100%
and the flip
honest.
side of
I
that
don't
is-
know if I would want to hurt you.
And I think
probably would. If I'm
Honest.
being 100% honest, I
Honest.
probably would want
I
to hurt
think
you.
it depends too whether you
Best
want a
brothers.
relationship or if
That's
you're
just
just
me
looking.
being 100.
I think
Well,
it depends if you're looking
you
for a
tricked me.
relationship or if you're
just
looking
made
for.
you made me feel less than. You
This
took
is-
away my ability to make
Choose.
my decision myself.
And I don't
And
disagree.
then
Here's
you
what
just
I'm
let me
saying,
know
Chris.
I'm a fool. So
Um,
then that,
I'm gonna say several things, so you got to be like mentally prepared with me
She
to let
said,
me
"Here
say
we
all the
go."
things.
you know,
Here
no.
we go. Do it.
Okay, so first, you're talking about that women can't hit you in the same way when you literally just talked about how you're raising your daughter to be a woman who could beat the
And
shit
she
out of
can,
somebody.
and she can, and that's the first thing I teach her. No, that's a false equivalent, because that's the first thing I teach you is you can't hit someone as hard as a man can. You can't. So you have to
I
hit
think it
someone
depends.
where
I
it
know some
counts.
weak ass men who
But that's
I'm stronger
different.
than.
That's
so my
different,
hits
though.
are going to be
That's-
harder than theirs.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but that's different. My daughter knows you can't hit a man in the face as hard as another man can hit a man. So what I want you to do is hit a man in the throat. Hit someone where they can't recover. I'm not asking you to hit someone as hard as a man can hit. You have to make up the deficit of not being a man.
So you're teaching her to be more dangerous than a man might be. She might be
Period.
more likely to kill somebody
let's
because
do
she's
that.
getting crushed
Then
with
let's do that.
windpipe,
Then let's do
which is
that,
badass as hell, honestly.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
all I'm saying is like, men are, I think, physically in general more dangerous than women are. But I think that we should acknowledge that there are women who abuse men and who hurt.
No,
men,
and that's
who can do those things.
listen. I've been roughed up by a couple older women in the boxing world, with women that
Yeah.
knew a little bit more than me and showed me some things. I understand that. That's always going to be the case. But to think that we can't just teach our little girls that we're equal to, and then they get hurt. And we're like,
That's
why
fair.
did this happen? No, because you shouldn't have never fucked with that man. That's
Okay,
why.
so going past that and on to your original question. So I guess for me, the idea of, once again, what you said is, well, you used to be a man. See, I just full stop disagree with that point, and I think it's transphobic to say that trans women used to be men. No, they were women who had a penis, which is not the same. They were a woman that whole time. So if you define womanhood as having a vagina,
if I'm being honest,
like, that might be how you feel.
I don't disagree. I definitely don't disagree, but that's tomato. That's tomato.
But, like,
There's no way that we
you're
would
saying,
ever be able to line up with that. I definitely agree with what you're saying. If I didn't, I wouldn't be cool with Jake. But that's tomato. Everybody's not gonna agree with that sentiment.
Well, what I'm
so we
saying
can't
is,
think that that's logical.
But what I'm saying is, I understand that not everybody would agree with that. One, I don't know any trans people who don't, like, talk to their partner about their transness in the beginning of a relationship, but I'm sure it does happen.
I know multiple.
This idea of,
without
like,
even being in that area, I know multiple.
And that's what I was trying to chime in with earlier. It depends on
and that's when it's a weapon.
What anybody is looking for in any given moment. Like, if you're just looking to fuck, it's different than being in a relationship with somebody.
That's where shit gets. That's where
I
shit
agree
gets
with what you're saying.
Where
I agree with what you're saying.
Start changing the way people are. Because before we could say, oh, that's why. Okay, but now we can remove tits. We can create a dick. We can do that. So now I could be the kind of dude that can fall in love with a woman and be like, this is the woman I want to marry. And she is a woman to your standards, like you're saying. But she can't get pregnant.
Right. Well, and
wait. That's
my point. So just trying to fuck in a relationship.
So to me, if I'm off my rocker, if I'm really hoping for someone that I can build with, and you can't create a baby, now can I beat you up because you tricked me into being with someone that wasn't really who I thought I was?
But that's kind of my point.
You're not wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're right. I don't think you're right for that, but you're also not wrong.
So let's do the same thing with a cis woman. There are cis women who cannot get pregnant, who maybe don't know, who know they can't get pregnant, but don't right away tell a partner that. It's not.
But it's 100% different. I don't care how you try to put it.
I'm upset because my partner can't get pregnant. In the scenario you just said, what about a cis woman who is infertile?
I actually don't.
Would you beat her up because she didn't tell you she couldn't?
I actually don't disagree with Sam, and that's why I'm saying.
not saying you don't have a right to be pissed off if somebody's not honest with you about who they are. I'm saying you don't have a right to kill somebody.
I get what you're saying, and I'm not saying that you should, but we are grabbing for straws. If you trick anyone about anything, money, food, it doesn't matter. You don't know what the reaction is going to be. And when we're talking about sexual, because that's someone being vulnerable.
I agree.
Just showing you my dick is me being vulnerable. Right. So to lay with someone and you're not vulnerably being the person that I thought you were, and you didn't let me know any otherwise, you're a problem.
But I also think that there's a difference between if it is a one shot people looking for sexual satisfaction versus looking for a relationship.
That's different. I agree.
Because if you're looking for a relationship, Sam, I don't care whether you're trans or whether you're a woman that can't have children. If that's important to me, that should be.
If I'm sterile as a man, I have to let this woman know before I choose to commit to her. Baby, understand, I'm sterile.
But also understand that men will say I'm sterile just to fuck, so.
But that's certain men. That's certain men. Just like certain women will say, I'm on birth control, don't worry about it. And then you're on child support.
Any cis and trans people equally can lie in relationships, and that is bad. It is wrong to do that.
Listen,
so I don't
think there's a difference between a relationship and a one-night stand and just trying to
Even if it's a one-night stand, there's like a ton of states where if you can use like gay panic as a reason to kill somebody, and people are just like, yeah, of course they killed this person because they were trans and they didn't know.
I hear you.
And like that to me is not acceptable.
And you know what? That's not. And I don't want to be the guy to argue that point. But you can argue temporary insanity. I don't know
Right.
what would go through my mind if someone said I was a man and I just fucked you.
Right.
I don't know what would go through my mind.
And that's
But
okay.
I
when
don't
you're
know
saying
what.
that-
Wait, though. I don't
It's
know
okay.
what, as a man,
Right.
would go through my mind. So with you doing that,
Right.
you're risking.
Yeah.
You're
Well-
risking that. That's not on that man.
But that's a
on
risk.
you to risk that. You could say, well, I don't. Listen, I've been, and this is me.
Right.
Listen, let me be 100 to all of my
Let me be
podcast fans.
100.
I've been in a situation on social media where I hollered at somebody and the motherfucker said, you know I'm trans?
Okay.
And I said, I respect the fuck out of that.
Right.
You didn't have
For
to say
letting me know.
anything to me
No.
about that. But the fact that you let me know immediately,
Well, that's
I
the
respect the
difference,
fuck
man.
out of you, and I said, God bless you, and I appreciate you for that.
That's
But
the
there's not a lot of people that do that.
No,
and if you're not going to do that, you run the risk of whatever my consequence is.
Cliff, that's
Listen, let me tell you something.
Okay.
You could pat my daughter's ass, or you could squeeze it. Doesn't matter either way. I could put a bullet in your head for anything. It's up to me. It's not up to a judge or a jury. I'm not a judge or a jury.
Right.
I'm the one that runs this shit.
Yeah.
So if you choose to do me wrong,
Right.
we can't look at that person like,
The
oh,
same
you're
way.
wrong for what you did. No, you were wrong for not letting that person know. You
Yeah.
just didn't know that person was that serious about how they felt.
Well, and you made a statement. Your statement was that no, most trans people that I know don't come out front with it. And
I said that?
yes, sir. And
Yeah.
that's okay. You're
No,
allowed
I-
to think
I-
that
I-
way.
I
You're allowed
don't-
to think that. I'm not gonna, or
I only
even
know a
if
couple trans people. And
Right,
a couple
right.
trans people I
So-
do know.
I didn't think the
usually-
sample size was
no,
very high.
and that's okay. You're allowed to feel. I'm not judging you, bro. The only homework assignment that I would give you.
Oh, I said I do know of trans people that didn't. Let
There are
know. I
people.
did say
There are
that.
people that I know in my lifetime that, especially myself. Any dating app that I go on, or any potential romantic situation that I might be in, it's the first thing that I tell someone. It'd be just like if
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had.
yeah.
It'd be like if I had HIV, or if I had, like a serious
No, I don't want
STD.
to. I don't want to relate
It's
to
this-
that.
but
'cause
no,
that-
but I
that
understand
puts
what
a
you're
different
saying,
Jay.
stigma
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I get what you're
Maybe
saying.
about if you
but
had
that
a
does
kid,
put a
you'd also
different
tell people.
stigma
Right.
on it.
But that's
I
okay.
understand what you're saying. I
Right.
get exactly what
Put
you're
whatever
saying.
stigma you want.
But everybody's not like you though.
Well, no. But there are people that are. There are people that aren't.
Right.
There are people that should be.
Exactly. That's all of us though. We're not talking about gender anymore.
So,
We're talking about humanity, bro.
Talking
mean,
about honest.
Cliff-
Keep it 100.
Cliff, to your
Keep
point
it-
around
Keep it 100, sir.
the situation you described, like, I'm not gonna say multiple, but on 2 or 3 occasions, I've had a gay dude approach me,
I've had that happen.
and
But
I've just
usually
flat out
this-
said,
bro.
like,
Right.
That's
and
not me.
I appreciate it.
and I
Right.
thank you,
Right. Thanks for
because
the
I'm
compliment.
actually
Right.
that's actually a huge
Cool.
ego boost. If the
Right.
gays love me,
Right.
that's cool.
I'm serious. I get it, man. But I think that if more straight men or
You
heterosexual
stupid.
men were like that,
Right.
the concept of I'm gonna beat up or murder this gay man for hitting on me because how dare he?
Well,
No
that's-
doubt, and that's my
I
whole
feel
thing
like
is-
that. I
that's
feel
a
like that
whole nother-
situation is a.
Right.
That's
That's
not. That's a homophobic to
Right.
me.
Right.
Like I'm
Right.
homophobic to myself.
Right.
Not like I'm scared of homosexuality.
Right.
I'm
Right.
scared of
Of
me
how
being
I'm reacting to it.
homosexual.
Yep. Right.
So I have
I'm
to hurt
questioning
someone
myself.
to prove.
Yeah.
Proof. I'm not gay.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
And don't get
How
me
dare
wrong.
that's
you
that bitch
assume?
shit.
Yeah.
I will be vulnerable
Yeah.
here and say,
Right.
guess what? I definitely grew up in a culture, especially
I
going to
get
an
it.
all-boys Catholic school, where
Didn't I
that's
say
gay,
that?
man.
Didn't
Right.
I say
Like
that? I
that
said
was meant
certain
to be
people of
a
certain
Insult.
disrespectful
generation
and an
are
insult.
raised broken. I said that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's our job to try to learn,
Understand
and have
and
these
fix it.
conversations.
Right.
That's what we're here for.
Right.
I'm
I
just gonna
think-
always be the guy that's gonna be overly honest.
Well,
Right.
Whether
as
you
you
look
should
at
be.
me like an asshole or not,
As
I'm
you
just
should
gonna
be.
be overly honest because I want other people to be overly
Well,
honest.
honesty is so important.
Right,
I
it
think
is.
that The other side of that, though, is reflection on your honesty, which I do
Right.
think you do and
Right.
have. So
Right.
what I would say is I want you to think about how you feel and how you view trans people,
Right.
because the thing you keep saying is, well, I'll find out she used to be a man. No, she was never a man.
Oh yeah,
She
no,
Mentally.
was
that's
a
not,
woman
no,
who
let's be
had a
honest.
penis.
That's nothing that
And
I will
that's not
ever.
the
I'll
same.
never get there.
And that's
I'll
okay.
never get there.
But I don't
I'm
think
just
you
being
have to
honest.
get there. But
I'll
I think
never
it's,
get
but I
there.
think
I
you should
love
try.
you to death, Sam, and I love you to
Right.
death,
Right.
Jake. I will never get
That's
to that
okay.
point where it's like that's just a woman. No, I'll never. I'll
I,
never get
I
there.
respect that
I'll
you will
never
never
get
get
there.
there, and I don't even necessarily expect you to, but I think it's worth trying. I'm not saying you
Right.
should be fine with
I'm
being
not
in a
gonna say
relationship
I
with a
wouldn't.
trans
I'm not gonna
woman.
say that I would not try.
Right.
I would
but-
never want a trans woman to be in a relationship with somebody who didn't want to be in a relationship
Right,
with a
Well,
trans woman.
right.
Because that's dangerous.
All
Right,
the way
right.
across the board.
So, like,
And I
absolutely.
I understand
I just
exactly
want
what
to
you're
make sure
saying.
when you
I
hear
agree.
All the way across
when
the
you
There's-
think of those things,
I'll
the thing
open
for
up
you is,
to it,
oh
but I
shit,
can-
did I just...
Right.
Because
I
I
can
think
never
the
say
anger in the
that.
situation you proposed comes from, oh shit, am I gay because I just had sex with a man?
No,
Which
no, no,
is
and that's not even
No,
the
no,
way
no.
that I would think
The
about
whole
it
thing.
because
Right.
you're tricked at that point, and I don't even
Right.
want to use the word trick.
Well,
Trick.
no,
But-
I
Okay,
get
but
trick
it.
is
you're-
not a great word, but I
Yeah,
know you...
but
I-
you know what
I
I
get
mean.
it. I
You
get
know
it.
what I
that
mean.
way.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
Exactly,
mean
Sam.
it like that.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like it is what it is, and for you to have to live with those emotions for the rest of your life,
Right.
I can't be the guy to tell you what's right or what's wrong.
All right, Cliff, I'm going to say something. This is a short story, and it's a very similar.
How short is it?
Real short.
How short is it to be
Real,
honest?
real short. So,
And I'm not trying to silence
No, no,
you.
no,
I just
it's
got
okay.
a piss.
I get it. I
No,
identif-
you my G.
Look, I identified as a lesbian. I was in the military. I
You
was
took- uh-huh.
I was stationed in Washington. My friends, 2 lesbians that were
Well,
a
I
couple.
don't really want to hear it.
No, no, no.
I
Keep,
heard
keep
it.
going.
I've already heard
keep
it.
going. Keep going.
I would.
We went. They introduced me to one
Uh-huh.
of their friends in
Mhm.
Washington, and they said, "Well, she's just kind of, um, mentally."
Can I let them hear it?
Who?
Them hear it. I would much rather use the bathroom if I could.
Well, no, I think we should take a commercial break. I think that I.
Yeah, I wish
I
there
ordered
was a
some
commercial
food.
break,
No.
but
I'm just saying.
No commercial.
I didn't want. I don't want to take anything
No.
away with because
Do it.
I've heard with your story and
Right.
it gets me feeling a certain kind of way.
Okay, well then go feel some certain type of way
Could I please?
in the area you should feel some
Yeah.
but
certain
you've
type
heard.
of
Have you
way.
heard this
I've
story
heard
before?
this story.
So can you
Have I
continue
not?
to tell
Have
us?
I not heard this story?
It's okay. It doesn't matter, because you have to pee. I'd rather you.
Well, it does matter. 'Cause
But
you're my guy,
but to the
so
point.
you
But to the
feel
point.
like-
I would
So-
rather you keep telling the story while he goes,
Right.
pisses, comes back.
Either
so
way. So
go ahead.
They introduced me, or they said, "Hey, I have a friend," and I hadn't had relations with somebody for a minute. So I met them, and I didn't realize. How would I put this? Is this a PG-13 podcast?
No, do what you gotta do.
So we had sex in the bathroom, and then like half an hour later at a bowling alley, she proposed to me on her knee.
That tracks.
All right.
After being single for 4 months, not really how I wanted to spend that. So, I get it. I mean, there's different levels of where people are at. I think as long as you're honest about what you're looking for and what you have to offer, per se.
No, completely agree. I think that's and honestly, I think that's what Cliff was really trying to get at is
Right.
the honesty aspect and
Right.
and being able to acknowledge. Not everybody's going to feel the same way,
Right.
and I think it's important to
Be sensitive.
respect that.
Right.
And that's not to say that they
Right.
can't get there eventually, but I
Right.
think his ultimate point there was
Right.
you're not going to be able to control how somebody reacts to that. So it's better to be upfront about it from the jump
Right.
to understand
Definitely
what the
safer.
response is going to be
Right.
versus try to hide it and
Why wouldn't
not
you
get that.
though?
And guess what? There's plenty of SVU episodes and
He
let's go
said-
watch on that
he
shit.
said, yeah.
Like, right,
Forensic
like-
Files or no, I get it. I totally get that. I think that comes down to a moral aspect though. I mean, across the board, if you look at every political or economical or social issue that's going on in the world, if we and I'll say this, I wasn't a fan of Trump when he had his celebrity, what was the Celebrity Apprentice
yeah.
show. I didn't like him then. The only thing that I will say that has helped me realize reality is that he brought out every single racist.
And that's been
Right.
Cliff's point.
Every
throughout all
single
of
People
this.
take,
race.
people take their mask
Every
Now we
single-
know.
off.
Right.
That's,
Now I
that's-
see you.
Listen, let me tell
Now
you
I
People
something.
see.
showing their asses like that has really
Oh.
been helpful.
This is what I was
Fair
trying to
ass.
say earlier. It's not that Obama. I don't like Obama more than Trump.
Yeah,
I do.
I appreciate Trump more than Obama.
I'm with you, Jake.
That's where, and from a black perspective,
I hear you.
I like Obama more than Trump.
Right.
I appreciate Trump more than Obama.
Because
Trump is taking off. Trump is Shaggy.
Yeah.
Trump is Shaggy and Scooby Doo. He's taking all the masks off.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Mask
I
off.
would
And it's
only got away
usually
with it
like
if it
capitalism.
wasn't for you
Like,
fucking Republicans.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
And everybody thought
Right.
Trump was going to be the one to be the monster.
And honestly,
And I'm not saying he's not a monster.
Well,
I'm just saying he's the one that's taking off the masks
But
of
the
the other
same-
monsters in the process.
But the same way
and I
that Trump,
appreciate it.
the same way that Trump has been a reflective of the bounce
We
back
almost done, bro.
of the snapback of the rubber band effect from Obama,
Mm-hmm.
I feel Trump will be the rubber band effect to a much more
Listen, let me tell you
leftist,
something. Listen, let me
democratic,
tell you
socialist
Let me tell you
response,
something.
and we'll see what happens when
We
the
can
election.
only hope.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you
Go
something.
ahead.
Let me tell you something. This is from my grandmother's mouth. And this isn't just her mouth. This is black. This is
Daughters.
Meemaw.
Yeah.
Meemaw, sorry.
This is ain't no sorries. And she remembers you too. And I won't get into that. I was going to say she would probably like to see you, but
Well, then
my
you let me
mom
know. We'll all go.
watches this. Meemaw's not worried about all the bullshit. My mom is the one. So if I said that and I said we about to go see Meemaw, she'd probably be like, "You better not bring nobody over there to my mom's house."
Right. Because you know what?
But I feel like at the
Jeannie,
same
I'd wear a mask.
and
As you should.
and she wouldn't care. But at the same time, I feel like how much time do we have left?
Right.
True.
How much time do we have left?
Why
True.
should it matter?
Like we, like us, like me and you, like me and y'all.
Why should it matter?
How much time do we have left?
Why should
It's not enough time for us to be locked
I hear
up
you.
with each
I
other.
hear you.
Like, if that means that I would never be able to hug or hold close the people that mean the most
Yeah.
to me, I'll die tomorrow.
I hear you.
I'll choose to die tomorrow.
Here's the consequence.
Not a
of
problem
that.
with me.
The consequence of that would be the person that you're hugging may not want to kill their family member because you're ready to die tomorrow.
You don't gotta hug me, baby. I'm not
True.
asking you
Right.
to. You feel
That's
what
why
I'm saying?
you
I'm
ain't
just
getting
saying.
hugs, bro.
I'm just saying.
No hugs, bro. No
I'm just
hugs.
saying, who
Right.
would want a hug? You
Right.
feel what I'm saying?
Not right now.
The only reason why I have people to hug now
Right.
is because of this podcast.
No glove, no love.
One of the things I talked about with my principal, one of my big concerns about going back in person, part of it is that I don't necessarily trust myself to make the safest choices
Right.
because I have some students who I know for a fact have not had physical contact that had kindness in it since
Right.
March 13th.
Yeah.
Right?
And if one of them asks me
Right.
for a hug, I'm gonna
I'm
fucking
not gonna
hug
say
them.
no. Yeah.
I
Right.
just will. I can't not.
You have to
And
help
I know that that's
you
not
have
safe.
to,
I
as
know
a
that.
teacher.
I
you
actually,
have to.
But-
I actually think that's a
Listen,
good
that's
point.
that's the best point.
So
It's
so,
not a good point. That's
Right,
the
yeah.
that's the only point.
so,
As a teacher, that's the only point.
so what I'm gonna say is we're at 2.5 hours, so I think we need to wrap this up. Sam, what I would say is I'd like to have Sam on in about 2 weeks if
Come
you're
on.
up for it, Sam.
I'm always down. I love talking to y'all.
I love
Specifically to talk about whatever
I
the
love
fuck
our
is happening
school
with schools at that
Yeah.
point.
God, I hope to hell I know what my school's doing in 2 weeks.
Well,
'cause
and
right
that's
now I don't.
that's kind of the reason why I
Well,
want to
let's
give it a
keep-
little
yeah,
more
yeah,
time.
Let's keep you up.
But
If you're
let's-
willing, let's keep you up to date.
Right.
Even if you can call in for 15 or 20 minutes
Yeah,
an
absolutely.
episode,
And,
we would love that.
because hopefully at that point I'll understand what the fuck is going on with football as well. By the way, here's I want to give a quick Reggie's 2 points
That's
on
my guy right there.
on the OHSAA. I think the OHSAA telling Ohio that high school sports should happen in the fall is actually not a bad thing, from the sense that there are plenty of orange and yellow counties when it comes to how the coronavirus response is.
I don't know
I
about
don't
that.
think that they should be shut down. I do think any county that's in red should not be fucking playing football.
I agree.
As a
I
football
agree.
coach,
I
I
agree.
think that if you are a red county and the infection rate is from 8 to 13%,
I agree.
we should not be playing fucking football in the fall.
Right.
I also will say that if the decision is made that we are playing football, I will be there for my boys, because I
Right.
have two
Right.
fucking kids that are Division I talent at the defensive end position
Slap it.
that I want to make sure
Slap
have the
it.
opportunity to get the fuck out of Whitehall.
And
So
get
with
closer
all of
to
that,
the league. Let's
that's
go.
where
I don't necessarily think we should be in-person learning, but if my kids are there, I'm there,
I
full
get it.
stop.
I
Right.
completely
I get-
understand.
I'm with all that.
So
Because I would, as a parent, I would want a coach and a teacher to feel that way.
absolutely,
I'm with all that.
I don't think we should,
God
but if we
bless.
are going to, I will be there. With all that being said, I want to give everybody a chance to kind of say their piece. What I will say is, what I would hope we can do is, I'm going to open up
Jake's
the.
gonna have to be back because we're gonna have to talk the new gen gaming.
Yes,
Oh,
we'll do
Assassin's
that
Creed.
again.
Yeah.
Valhalla! What I will say is,
We gonna be there.
for
We gonna be
anybody
there.
that's interested, we're gonna do the same thing we did last week. As long as you both are good with
yeah.
it, I'm
Well,
gonna
you
open
stay
up.
with me, so
I'm gonna
you
open
go
up
right.
the Zoom for everybody. If you know us, hit us up. You have my cell phone number. My cell phone number is the meeting ID. The password is lowercase fools. If you want to join us for about 20-30 minutes after the show, go ahead and do that. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share the podcast. You know, we were
If
up,
not, fuck you.
we were also up around like 12 or 13 viewers during the show this week, which is pretty high for us in terms of watching the live stream. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Jake, anything you want to say to sign off?
Hey, man, don't quit fighting the fight, man. Black lives still matter, brother.
I know
There
that's
you
right.
go.
My G.
Samantha.
Ally.
Just treat each other with kindness the best you can until somebody shows their whole ass, and then feel free to change that.
My G.
Honestly.
Love you.
You're my brother, bro.
Cliff, as always.
Love everybody until they give you a reason not to. Love everybody. Keep pushing more love, more equality, and be the push that everybody is scared to be and pay it forward.
That's right.
And with all of that,
Till next week, motherfuckers.
till next week, Cliff, you and I will have to talk about timing next week, because if football is happening, I may not be available on a Friday night. So we'll see what
figure it
happens.
out.
We will try to figure this out. Hopefully schools and the
Ain't no
OHSAA
try.
and whatever else figure the shit out. If nothing else, we will be live. It's just a matter of what day, time.
Yeah, ain't
We'll
no
let
try.
you know.
We got it.
We love all y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight, and I
Pay it
appreciate
forward.
every single one of you. Pay it forward, and
Y'all
peace
some
out.
bitches. I don't like y'all. I'm just saying.
Shit. I got food on the way.
Nice.
Oh, this little light